The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is, oh my God, Jet Passing has been hacked on Twitter Thursday, March 10th, 2022. This show begins right now.
Yeah!
Can't thank you enough for joining us at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Obviously, no fun for Jet Passing to be hacked, but it just is happening currently. I sent him a text. Hey, cuz, get on Twitter, change your password. He said they already got it.
Oh, no, Jet.
So Twitter is going to have to save Jet at this point.
Oh, no.
Good luck out there. Jet Passon's been through it a little bit here the last couple of days.
Tough couple.
He has been through it. But hey, Jet, keep fighting over
Hey,
here.
we're behind you, Jet. Good luck, Jet.
Hey, keep refueling.
That's right. That's
Keep
right.
gassing that thing up.
Barrel roll.
All right, anyways, let's get back to what we normally talk about. There's a lot going on in the NFL, a lot of conversations about the Washington Commanders quarterback search, which is very depth looking everywhere, how they ended up with Carson Wentz, which then led to an article from The Athletic via Zach Kiefer, who is formerly of the Indy Star, went to Butler here in Indiana. I know him. Very talented writer. I'm a big fan of his. He did an entire deep dive on the entire Colts Carson Wentz situation, with Frank Reich allegedly apologizing to ownership for how the Carson Wentz experience ended up. Now they're moving forward. What will the next quarterback be for the Indianapolis Colts, a team that's absolutely stacked and packed and pumped to the gills with talent.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't make the playoffs last year, I think, is why Jim Irsay in the front office decided, hey, we got to move on from this. We understand he threw 27 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions, but in the Niners game alone, he threw 4 that were dropped.
Yep, that's right.
Let alone the rest of the season that could have potentially happened. That thing could have been 27 in 37, and I would have said, yeah, that sounds accurate after watching the entire season with him. When he was great, he was great. And we saw those and we heard those moments. Frank Reich talked about those moments. I assume Jim Irsay was like pumped about it, like, oh, brother, this is the guy we got. And it was obviously not easy. He got hurt in training camp, and it was an entire COVID year, and Hard Knocks is filming in the building as it's all happening. And I'm not saying Hard Knocks was negative, but it was just a weird year for the Colts to begin with, probably with Carson Wentz. But his style of play is not one that I think Jim Irsay and others at the Colts view as Super Bowl winning style of quarterbacking. Now, will he be able to change that in Washington? Maybe. Not 100% sure. Wasn't able to do it here. Maybe a new fit in Washington will better serve his ability to maybe check down, check out, and maybe just chill out on a couple different plays. Their Super Bowl odds changed none. Pre-Carson, post-Carson, FanDuel Sportsbook's odd makers, John Sheeran said, they're paying him $30 million, but I don't think. Nah, fucking keep it right there.
We're good.
We're going to keep it right there at 30-1 or whatever the case is. It's very fascinating, this entire Carson Wentz thing, because he could be an absolute superstar. And I think everybody has seen it when he was with the Eagles. Everybody talks about 2017 when he was MVP. That's 5 years ago.
Yeah,
okay? That's a long time ago. That's an entire high school career, entire college career, and those things. Even a redshirt college career. That's a long, long time ago. A lot has happened since then. But even with the Colts, there was moments where it was like, oh, this guy's a guy. But then that mental part of, hey, I want to die on this play, on this field, for this touchdown that's definitely about to happen on this play that is completely busted, that happens on a very regular basis, that we probably couldn't take anymore if I had to guess for Jim Irsay, but maybe Washington will be able to do it. What game manager will come in here and get this Colts team on a goddamn run? I was on Get Up this morning. Shout out to Greeny. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Greeny.
Allegedly, the story goes that Greeny saw my draft speech at the draft and said, who's that guy? I would like him on my show. So then, a couple contacts, couple calls. I believe David Coonan was even involved. David Coonan.
Dude.
Weapon.
Coonan was involved in the entire thing, and I got a chance to go on Get Up and watching Greeny work behind the scenes from the pre-production meeting to their entire team over there that is very talented, very diligent. One of the reasons why we watch that show in the morning is because I got a chance to see in real time in their pre-production meetings, because he invited me to be a part of the show, how much research and who they had where. So it's like, hey, if they're talking about it, this is probably some real shit that we should be talking about. Now, that was at the beginning of our show. Now, we're a little bit more of a thermostat as opposed to a thermometer, I think, at this point. We don't just... we don't tell the temperature, we set the temperature. So it's a little bit of a different game, but Get Up has so many talented people. And Greeny was one of the first people in big time. He was, I think, the first person in studio network television that was like, I would like Pat McAfee on my show. Nobody else would let me on their microphones. And I appreciate that. I understand that. So I will always have a piece of my heart with Mike Greenberg. 2-time Hall of Famer, watching him work. And he's always had respect for my brain, which I have appreciated, because that's a tough thing to have if you don't know me personally, I would assume. Yeah, I see it on the internet all the time. People, I'm big dumb diff. Big dumb dipshit, and I understand that. But Greeny has always been incredibly nice to me. So getting back on there after he texted me and asked me to come on there was cool. I don't do a lot of that. There's too much of me already. So going on somebody else's show for more of me is just, a little bit fucking asinine decision, especially if you are the way I am. But it was an honor to go back on there. And as I was cutting a promo basically about the Carson Wentz experience that we had, in my head, I was trying, because they were wondering who's next. And Tim Hasselbeck was on, who I fucking love. I love Tim Hasselbeck. I legit. Obviously, I got a chance to play with Matt Hasselbeck. Tim Hasselbeck is just this subtle, dry humor. He is awesome.
Yeah.
So it was great to see him. It was very quick. Rossini was on there. We got to chat about her inside sources a little bit. She didn't get to ask a question, but I definitely wanted to give her flowers. Bart Scott was on there. Bart Scott almost fought me in a game one time. We have made up, and he is I believe he is a free-thinking, entertaining human being. Does well in the media world. I think he has a radio show. ESPN's putting him on there a lot. And then Greeny is just... Greeny. But as I'm going in about Carson, 2-time Hall of Famer, by the way. He's in 2 different Hall of Fames.
Great shoes.
Great shoe game.
Always.
He wears Louboutins like every single day. I was watching him, and he has his things. I guess he eats like sandwiches with a fork and knife.
Right.
Yeah,
Wings with a fork and knife. Which is real serial killer like.
Yeah, nut job.
Without question.
Crazy. But he's not after meeting him.
Good guy.
It's Northwestern.
Loves Northwestern.
Yeah.
But as I'm cutting this promo about Carson Wentz and I'm thinking about the entire team, and I assume a lot of people do a lot more research before they do a show like Get Up or this show and everything like that, I just kind of assume the brain will figure it out. As I'm in there, I'm like, all we need is a game manager. All we need at the Colts is a game manager. Carson Wentz is going to the Commanders. Good luck over there. We're fix the poop pipes.
Go get it, Carl.
All right, Carl's got a whole new era, and PFT commenter is excited about it.
Yeah, very much so.
Walle's pumped.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out Wale.
Shout out, Wall.
Shot at.
Very cool what you said about him. Very, very, very cool what Wale tweeted about me. I think he's on tour right now, too. So I'd assume he's on a bus or something. And he's like, this motherfucker's in WrestleMania. He just interviewed Vince McMahon. He just is doing this. So I appreciate this, Wale. I got a text from him before he put this tweet out saying, like, hey, the interview with Vince was something. So I have massive respect for this dude's brain, okay? I think he is one of the most gifted individuals that the earth has ever seen. If you listen to his bars and everything like that, the story he's telling is awesome. So I'm very appreciative of this. Now, with that being said, Wale, big Washington Commanders fan, he's going to bat for Carson Wentz as well. And, hopefully it works out for them. For us, the Indianapolis Colts, like Jimmy G looks real good.
He does.
He's a game manager, and I know people and pundits and people on Twitter who want to bury certain people say, he ain't quarterback, he's a fucking game manager. Well, every quarterback's a goddamn game manager, isn't he? He's the one touching the ball every fucking play. He's the one deciding whether or not his team gets it, his team scores, or the other team gets it and the other team scores. Every single quarterback is a game manager. Tom Brady is a best athlete of all time.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to be in the conversation. If you looked up, game manager. This guy had a run game. And everybody says, Alex Smith, Game manager, this guy. Kirk Cousins.
Ooh.
Game manager, this guy. Give me Kirk Cousins right now in Indianapolis. Now, that is not something I thought I would ever say. It's not something I thought anybody would think that they would hear me say. But we need, with the talent we have, just a game manager. And ultimately, I think that is why Jim Irsay and the brass decided to move on. We don't need a quarterback that's going to be sporadic. We don't need a quarterback that's going to try to die on every single play. We need a quarterback that is going to get us in a good position, especially with the amount of money we have to bring in a great left tackle next to Quentin Nelson, like Armstead, who's up right there, with Jonathan Taylor in the back. Bring on a weapon. Hey, Mark Cooper.
Ooh, come on,
Indianapolis. Anybody else that's in the free agent? And you just need a guy not to give the ball to the other team or make any bonehead decisions like checking out of runs and shit like that. So if we get Kirk Cousins or Jimmy G, and we gave up, what, a 7th-round pick? We got 2 back, and then we got rid of the $30 million contract. Colts won this trade. Way to go, Chris Bauer.
Go, Chris.
It's a wild day. It's a wild time. The NFL is heating up. There's a lot of people getting deals. There's a lot of people being released. A lot of veterans being released. We'll talk about it all. At Ty Schmidt, Devontae Adams, franchise tag, Aaron Rodgers all the way back. Maybe Kirk Cousins out of the division. Life is good for a Packers fan right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zadarius Smith is probably going to get released either today or tomorrow, so that won't be kind of tough to swallow, but I think everyone knew it was coming. And now, yeah, it's just you kind of wait and see what the Rodgers deal looks like and where that puts them in the cap, because now, they're, $46 million over or whatever, so they have a week to get cap compliant. But if you're a Packers fan, everything is kind of unfolding the way you hoped it would have.
Kirk Cousins, this is what the offseason does.
It does.
Okay?
Everyone's everywhere.
This is what the offseason, not just everyone's everywhere, but everyone could be the guy.
Yeah.
And this Colts team, 7 Pro Bowlers.
What?
Long-term contracts basically locked up in almost every single important position. D-tackle, linebacker, guard, center. I think every single corner. Yeah, got Kenny Moe locked up. Jonathan Taylor's there for at least another 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It is every position that is of necessity to have success in the NFL. They have at a very high level for a long time. And they got a bunch of money. They're set up perfectly. All you need is a quarterback. It's hard not to just be like, get Jimmy G in there, we fucking go.
Yeah.
Jimmy G's not just going to give the ball to everybody, and then somebody tweets a picture of Jimmy G's literal last pass, and it's him, Michael Jackson forward lean, much lower, right hand trying to throw the ball. Must-win situation. Had to do it.
Yep.
And the only difference between that situation and Carson's situation is that was last play of the game, had to have it.
Correct.
Carson does that on 2nd and 5.
That's
Right.
First quarter.
Exactly.
Tie game.
Your own end.
On your own
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, right.
That you just got pinned. Just say, let's just go ahead and let's just try to get some yards so we can punt this thing. Let's just try to gain a little bit of advantage here. Now, granted, we would like to score a touchdown on every single drive. But if first down doesn't work out well and second down doesn't work out well, let's just try to gain some sort of something out of this. Go back to the drawing board, come back on next, because we got great defense. So far.
Great defense.
Then let's come back on next series and let's go ahead and hit it. That is not in Carson's. We don't score a touchdown on this fucking play, we're losing.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's how it plays.
That is a very high school mentality.
Yeah.
That is a very high school mentality. And it's a cool mentality, him being tough and everything like that. But Jimmy G seems like a dream. Him only throwing the ball 6 times, Colts fans last year dreaming for that kid.
Absolutely.
But we're paying a guy. Now we're going to have to pay Jimmy G because he's won and he's a veteran. And obviously he's probably in the middle of a bidding war right now because of how everything's panned out with Russell and Aaron Rodgers. But the entire thought that all I want is just give me a boring fucking quarterback. You give me the handsome Jimmy G or the if I die Kirk Cousins, knowing that they'll set us up in the right positions. We get a weapon. Both of those guys can complete passes. Deebo Samuel, before he became the utility player over there, was the slant god.
Yeah.
And then George Kittle is an absolute monster. Jimmy G can complete passes. Everybody acts like he cannot do that. He can, but either of those options are great. So I'm flying high this morning at Boston Connor. The New England Patriots, there's a new article coming out from Pro Football Focus. The best offseason contract to return on investment team of the last 10 years or something
Makes
like that.
sense.
Does it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like last offseason was the only time you guys spent any money. Right?
Well, it goes back, I think, to 2013. And when you look at like every year of the year, that year we spent money on Darrell Revis. I think 2 years
He's
after
pretty good.
that, he won a Super Bowl.
Hey, Revis is pretty fun.
It was like a 1 year, $14
Do you
million.
remember Revis Island?
Oh, yeah.
That was like a 4 or 5 year span where it was like, teams just won't throw to this side of the field. But he had to be on every play.
Yeah.
No, that's another part of like I think Revis's greatness is every single play he had to be on. Even if he was getting 0 balls 3, 4, 5 consecutive games, every single play he had to be on because he had to take advantage of his opportunities too when the ball came. And by the way, he normally did.
Yes, always did.
Oh, go ahead and I dare you. I dare you to throw over to Revis Island. That ball is going the opposite direction. I've actually watched Darrell Revis run right by me. It was in a college football game, won a fucking ESPY.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Won an ESPY, play of the year. Yeah, and I'm diving dead on the ground in the background, slow motion. You see my face just like, oh my God, what was that? He beat everybody on our team twice on that punt return.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Including me. That's 22 misses. That's unbelievable. Rich Rodriguez broke down every single one of them in the meeting afterwards. Get your fucking ass up. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get up. Get up! I would have got up if I could. You would have got up if you could. Who's holding you down? Is there an invisible man in the sky holding you down right here? Because he circled back on us, and then he scored a touchdown, and there were some guys that got blocked, like depleted. Like,
Derek Kinder, shout out.
there were some massive blocks, and then those dudes weren't getting up because they were probably in some pain.
Yeah.
But it turns out, like, if you waited another, like, 30, that play was like 2 minutes long. If you waited another 30 seconds, he was running right by the person that was already dead. And in film, it's hard not to just be like, hey, why didn't you just...
Why are you laying?
Why are you laying there? He's like, well, I died, actually. Thank you. Can we see that other angle? Now I got decleated, broke all of my ribs. Anyways, Revis was unbelievable. You guys gave him guaranteed, right? It was like 1 year guaranteed, 2 years guaranteed. Then he went to the Jets and did the same exact thing. So going back to 2013, you also have Tom Brady taking smaller contracts, so everybody else has to take smaller contracts. So I guess his ability to get the team to buy in on being a team as opposed to being individually wealthy is certainly notable and noble and should be talked about, which is what PFF Woo is saying.
Yeah, and like it's not skewed, but when you go from 2013 to 2018, they were either in the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl every single one of those years. So they played the most games, and they obviously brought guys in every single year. So it makes sense that the return on those players was high because the team was very fucking good. But we'll see what they do this year. They obviously went all in last year. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the strategy this year, just because last year there's only 4 or 5 teams that could really spend money because of the cap. Now this year they're damn near half the league can spend money because of all the cap room. And now teams like Seattle, Indianapolis, who started this whole thing off around like 30, 40, now have like 70 and 50. So it seems like the Colts are in the prime position, but they'll fuck it up somehow, I'm sure.
Jeez.
Well, your problem was a good day. Just show how happy I was.
I know, I'm pumped
I was
for
on
you.
Get Up with Greeny this morning. See the old friend.
It's awesome. I love Jimmy G. He's a Patriots guy. Gets hurt a little bit. Just had shoulder surgery.
Oh yeah, you're
so
right. Give
that's
me
a little
Kirk.
bit.
Give me Kirk.
Kirk Cousins is a $45 million cap hit. So although there are options out there,
we got it.
Don't take it.
But that is so much money. I don't know if I got it. If we got it,
you want
we got
Armstead.
$70 million.
Doesn't Kirk suck in primetime though?
Yeah,
No. We debunked this.
Against the Bears though, a very bad Bears team.
Yeah.
No, but he debunked all of this. Yeah,
Did
he did. Went down to Dallas, Jerry Road, beat them.
Yeah.
Went down to New Orleans, playoffs. Beat them. I mean, this is all
A squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
push off. Well, blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, but that's 2 big time games.
And you got Jonathan Taylor. Dalvin Cook's pretty damn good, but he's never had Quentin Nelson and the boys up front. But if you get Kirk, you probably can't get Armstead and Amari Cooper. But
Yeah, because Kirk's $45 million.
$45 million. Yeah, the way that deal probably works is if you split it, right, for the Colts. At least.
Vikings have to pay a little bit of this.
Would they though?
I mean, they were acting like it was a big deal whenever the Commanders picked up the entire deal from Carson. I didn't know that was a big deal. Yeah, you fucking traded for it. You pay the guy.
Yeah.
But I guess that was abnormal because people are making that a big deal. I didn't know. If there's a chance for the Vikings to pay Kirk and us, come on.
Yeah, $10 million.
Why'd you guys get rid of Kyle Van Noy? What's the deal?
I don't know what the problem is with Kyle. You know, I don't like that he's been shipped out of town in the past 2 years, first from Miami, then from New England. But I know that we're probably doing that so we can get, I don't know, Bobby Wagner, maybe bring him in, kind of train the young guys. We save $5 million on the cap. There's a chance
You're gonna have to pay Bobby Wagner. What do you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you save $5 million for Kyle Van Noy. You're gonna have to pay Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, mercenary, just like Revis. We'll give him 1 year. We'll give him, $12 million guaranteed. Let's go on a run here, and then go get paid somewhere else.
Yeah, and then we'll bring him back later.
And then we'll be exactly. Well, Kyle Van Noy is probably coming back in 9 months, so I'm not that worried about it. But it's a bummer that he's gone.
Kyle Van Noy would be a great Colt.
He would.
Yeah.
He'd be a great Colt, especially on that defense that likes to work hard. Feels like he likes that. But J.C. Jackson's out of town. He'd be a great Colt, by the way, as well. Let's get J.C., Amari, and then let's get the Vikings to pay Kirk Cousins.
That's simple. See you in the Super Bowl.
Let's go Colts.
You do all those prime free agents, and then Sam Ehlinger leads the team.
Listen, Sam Ehlinger could be a guy.
You load up around them.
Could be a guy.
He's on a rookie contract. He's on a rookie contract. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
Lives on the edge.
Can he just lives on the edge?
Oh, yeah. He slings that ball around.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he had said something in the past that made you think that. I was excited to hear Zito's brain.
Yeah.
Because the we're back thing, I was excited to hear what I missed from Sam Ehlinger that was on the edge.
Just a gunslinger.
Just gunslinger. I don't know if he is, though. I'm not 100% sure because he got in on the Colt a couple times in preseason. I think he did okay, but he had a whole family situation.
Yeah, exactly. In preseason. You never know what preseason.
Preseason, that's throwing against you.
Yeah, exactly. And just thinking about it now, like a young quarterback, like a rookie QB, you got 2 2s, 2 3s. You could probably trade in late to the first round, grab somebody.
We need a guy. No. Listen, Jordan Love is going.
He's an athlete.
He's going to be a great backup for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, or starter for the Colts.
I don't think Jordan Love. I mean, we'll have Schrags join us here in about 7 minutes. I can't wait to hear what he knows because he's tweeting out eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then he's removing the eyeballs. What does that mean? Is he teasing things? Is he not teasing things? Who's going where? He seems to have great sources. What will he tell us? Excited for that. Obviously, we can't have Rappaport on for at least another couple weeks.
Come on, Rapp.
He just because of the
Probation.
I hope he learns his lesson.
whole. He didn't. People are burying me because of this entire thing.
What's his problem?
Not just his. I mean, he's set up for everybody else to bury me too. It's like, what is?
I was
his-
watching the Spanish news the other day, and they were quoting him still.
That's what I'm saying. And by the way, Sports Illustrated this morning said Aaron Rodgers had 200 million reasons to go back to Green Bay.
Is that right?
It's like, what happened? What if he does, by the way, and Ian Rappaport's 100% right. There's a reason that Ian is sticking on this, right?
For sure.
He has not retracted it at all. So there's a reason he's sticking on it. Maybe our source says, don't know.
Or
That would be weird.
That doesn't sound right.
No,
Yeah.
no way. Maybe it's that contract, but the first 2 years is tiny, and the last 2 years
Tell you
are
what.
backloaded, like voidable years.
I have no idea.
Your source says knows what happened, knows that you've been going to bat for that source.
Says.
That number better not be even fucking close.
Whoa, Tone. He's Tony. At Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer.
For everything you have done for that man, the number better not even be fucking close.
Okay, all right, listen, I understand you got a new hat, okay? 3 chains, 4 chains.
Exactly.
You look unbelievable. That new hat is all, hey, great March Madness hat.
Baby Tony. Special guest today, I had to do it for him.
Yeah, we have Zach Brown on. Has an incredible hat game. Zach Brown
Top
does.
tier.
Always looks cool. So Diggs legitimately brought this in for the Zach Brown new hat, new cap. You look awesome.
Thank you.
Thought he was talking about Morency on
You look like
Inward
Crocodile Dundee.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but like
That's a knife.
like a Beverly Hills though crocodile because there's a gold
They made a
around
movie
them.
about that.
Yes, exactly. But you look like the embodiment of that.
Thank
What
you.
is on the top there? A couple burns,
Couple
little
burns. Yeah, I went through fire.
Hell yeah.
saving a baby.
Been through it.
You're
Done it all, been through
riding your horse.
Yeah.
There was a fire.
Thank you.
You jumped off the horse, told the horse to keep running, ran through the fire, grabbed a baby. Horse met you on the other side. Bang, out of there.
See ya.
Yeah. And in the next house, okay, just went side saddle of the horse.
Wow.
Fucking hanging on with one arm, scooped another baby.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's why there's so many burn marks on both sides. There.
Oh, okay.
Zito's telling me I need to look closer. There's other things on that hat, not just burn marks.
Yeah.
Just look left or right, Tony.
Oh, poker cards. So you were leaving a poker game at the saloon.
Yep.
You were leaving the game.
That's a 4, a 1, and a 2.
Oh,
in Pittsburgh.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That's a 412 hat?
No. I mean, the cards say 4, 1, and 2. It's a custom, baby.
Customizable.
That's awesome.
I mean, this is custom, baby.
Oh, you created that hat?
What hockey team went to Nashville a couple weeks ago
Tampa Bay.
and got all the leather jackets?
Tampa
Tampa.
Bay.
Tampa.
Yeah, that's the guy who did all those. Did this?
So this is a custom Tone Diggs cap.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Tony.
Tony's a fashion god.
Holy shit.
Tell me.
Tone, I love the hat.
Cam Newton hat.
Yeah.
That is a good hat.
You give the guy the details, he spits out a custom hat for you.
How long did it take to make that?
Like 8 weeks.
Oh shit! So those are hand.
Oh yeah.
Those are hand sewed.
Oh yeah, my friend.
I was about to say let's make like a bunch
take
of these
some-
at the time.
Yeah.
But I think
gonna
we'll
take
get
some
those.
time.
Yeah, 2025.
Are those gator teeth?
Where are we talking? Where at?
The gold.
Zito has a lot of details on this hat. I think he
Wow.
says there's Gambler on the other side.
Yeah. We've got Gambler.
Oh,
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the radio listeners. We have this thing just showed up in our life.
This thing's unbelievable.
This thing is unbelievable. That'd be what, $2,000-$3,000?
No, come on. I don't know. No.
6.
He does have that money, by the way. I actually know exactly. I know exactly. You look awesome.
Thank you.
What's your quarterback situation look like? Everybody says
There's like
Mitchell Trubisky.
7 or 8 quarterbacks that I'll be happy with.
Any of them?
Jimmy, Mitch, Mariota, Jameis, Pickett, Willis,
Maddie.
Corral?
Corral. 7. I don't want Kirk.
7
7.
for 7.
Wow.
7 for 7 for 7. Wow. See how that
All right,
works
let's
out?
get to a break. We'll be back in 4 minutes with Schrager. He'll have more information for us. I cannot wait to hear where he thinks all these guys are going. A lot of quarterbacks out there that are, have yet to
Oh, yeah.
really sail to the altitudes that everybody had hoped that they would.
That's right.
But man, there's a lot of teams that are looking for a new guy at the key position. A lot of money to be made from these quarterbacks that might find a new home and really blossom and play their best football. Carolina's all in on Desean Watson if tomorrow's hearings go well.
Yes.
That means they're all in on another quarterback then too at some
Right.
point. These quarterbacks are sitting pretty. What does Schrager know from NFL Network and Fox Sports? We'll ask him in about 4 minutes. We'll see you then. Cheers. Hey, we're up to something big. Hey, we're announcing something big, AJ. We are up to something. This is the coolest moment of the history of my existence. I think people are going to be startled. It's a joke, and I can't thank everybody enough, honestly. I'm up to something. It is a big time day. Let's go. Not only are we going back to Plum to do something cool, but today is the day that our heater horse has arrived for the Super Bowl. It's a pretty big deal. You know, whenever you get a chance to give back to where you're from, especially a place that helped create me and mold me, I'm very, very lucky to do it. I'm lucky to be from here, and it seems like the only smart thing to do would be give back. Stinks here, huh? What's up, Kennywood, dude? Kennywood is named after Kenny's Woods. A man named Kenny owned the hill in the Woody area. They turned it into an amusement park, which is a Yinzer staple. So Jeezy actually shouts out this area we are in currently. I think life can be much simpler whenever you just take care of your people, enjoy your life, and do your thing, and that's all we're trying to do. You know, growing old, slowly dying. How about you? How's everybody? I'm gonna give a full lead up to how I got to where I'm at. I think I'm very lucky to be from here. If you're a kid that has walked through these halls, you understand something that not a lot of people do. I think Plum is a much different place than everywhere else. And there's Nick up there. Go look at Nick, how pissed off he is. This past summer, I was driving through here because I was here for an event, and Angelo Bolino, little blonde-haired kid, was kicking on the same field that I used to kick on as a child. And he had like 2 balls and a holder. And I was watching him kick, and then he would go shag for himself, and then he would come back and kick. And the easy question is, if he had 10 balls, how much better could Angelo Bellino be? If I would have been able to have 10 balls, 15 balls, new cleats, new everything, chances to go to camps with my teammates and everything, what could have happened? So I said to myself, literally after meeting with Angelo, great season, by the way, dude. I said, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to try to take care of the potential humans and kids that were in my exact position in club. I'm going to give $200,000 to the Plum area soccer. I'm going to give $150,000 to the PMFA youth football. I'm going to give $100,000 to the baseball youth. I'm going to give $100,000 to the lacrosse. And then we're going to have $2 million in this fund that will just start. And hopefully it'll only go on from there.
Sweet stuff for sports.
Just anything to make everybody's, the teams and the players' lives easier, better. Trying to streamline the entire process of taking care of the athletes at Plum High School is kind of what it's all about. Hey, you too. Wow, dude, that was cool. All right, Narani, like the Indy. You're going to have a lot of people that have never accomplished anything in their life tell you that what you're thinking about doing isn't possible. Just because they don't think they could accomplish it doesn't mean anything to you. Cheers, everybody. Hey, we're all Mustangs here. Let's go. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. We have a guest joining us who knows all the things that need to be. No. It's a great beat drop there. Yeah. Best. Didn't want to ruin it because he worked hard on that. He deserves a lot of credit from that. I think we got some new music coming too. Ooh, okay. Somebody that, a barber's on vacation, so had to do an emergency barber call. This dude named DC came through. Hey, good
looking cut.
Clean cut hair.
Good cut.
Appreciate you, DC, out there. He makes music. Anyways, joining us now is a man who knows all things that need to be known around the NFL. Insider, handshaker, networker, and Emmy-nominated host of Good Morning Football, which you can see every single day on NFL Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Traeger. What's up, dude? Oh, no. You're muted. Oh, no.
I'm not.
No, there it is.
You are. Hey, you're back. Hey, how you doing? You look good. You didn't sound like anything. You just looked really cool there for a second. Thank you for joining us.
I was going to say your hair looks great. I love it.
Hey, this guy
looks
came.
Good.
Hey,
DC.
DC.
He's a wizard.
Hey, Indiana guy. Got tats on his hands.
Uh-huh.
He is. And he came in.
Yeah, locked in.
Yeah, he was locked. He was. Wrestling coach, too. So, I mean, he could do a single leg.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Holy
Maybe teach
shit.
me a single leg for WrestleMania.
That'd help.
What?
Whoa.
I've been in the ring, Shregs. I don't know if you want to break that news. I'm flying around in there. I'm feeling real good, Shregs. I'm feeling real good in the ring. Anyways, let's get to you and your brain. Yeah. What is Ola Bird Sports?
Oh, this is Hollowbird Sports. It's a sporting goods company in Baltimore, and it's awesome. And I get all my stuff from them. So Hollowbird Sports, hit it up. There you go.
Do they ship, or are they only in Baltimore?
They ship, bro. They ship. It's a huge company out of Baltimore. Go get your stuff. Racket sports and running stuff. I love it.
Hey, why be less when you could be more? You stop by Jimmy's Famous. Of course. You say, hey, the owner's here. But, man, this restaurant and environment is incredible.
Yeah, I need some crab cakes.
Oh, my God, these crab cakes. And then what else do we? They gave us a steak, I think, as well.
Lobster roll.
Lobster roll. Come on.
COVID.
Their stuff is good. I got
That
a
is
shipment
still-
once of like their crab cakes in a box, and it was incredible. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm a Jimmy's seafood guy. That was it. I was done.
Hey, they ship nationwide, and it shows up just like it came right out of it. And remember, crab cakes in football, that's what Maryland does.
There you go.
More specifically, Jimmy's Famous. And holla to Hollowbird Sports.
Hollowbird Sports. Google it, folks. Get on in there. Say Pat sent you.
No, don't do that. I mean, that comes with a price. But the whole, that looks like Ola Bird, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm an English speaker. That's Ola Bird. Ola. What's bird, Zito, in Spanish?
I got to hear it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Dude can understand Spanish. Grew up, his family, 100% Cuban, spoke Spanish in the house. His friends spoke English in Chicago. His Spanglish was so terrible, neither language could understand him.
C.
That's a yes.
Yep.
That's a yes. So they put him to a like a hypnotist, right?
person, yeah.
So now he can understand it. He just can't speak it, and that's
Yeah,
a
I
real
forgot it.
thing.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Why are you laughing, Trades?
Shreds, you laughing
I'm
at
laughing.
this guy?
It's unbelievable. I love it. You guys.
Hey, we're 6 minutes into this, and we haven't got to anything that you know. Let's do that, okay?
Kingsbury was texting me from the airport. He's on his way to Mahomes' wedding, and he's trying to find the feed to listen and watch this. So, we're all in, dude.
Hey, Cliff Kingsbury, just 6'4" Texan that's handsome and cooler than you.
Oh, my
Great
God.
guy.
I mean, he was awesome in here. Sat in the pocket, too, by the way, right in the Thunderdome, as did you. Appreciate Cliff watching wherever the hell you are. Have a great time at that wedding. I assume it's
Enjoy.
going to be extravagant.
Oh, yeah.
Nice one.
I think that's going to be amazing. I'm excited to see what Jackson does.
Yeah.
Will he be there?
No,
Is he invited?
Let's get to sports. Yeah.
Of course. Come on.
Well, he wasn't at the bachelor party, so
Is he 21? Is he even 21 years old?
I think
Oh,
so.
see,
with
nobody.
500 million, he is.
Hey, you're right. I mean, I was 21 when I was like 15, 16. So. Anyways, let's get to it.
Yeah.
What do you know, Shregs? These little eyeball tweets. You're putting out these eyeball tweets, and then you get the entire NFL world, like our office, going, "Oh, what's Shregs doing?" And then all of a sudden, you follow up the eyeball tweets because we're already past that, and then you go, "You know what? I'm actually going to remove the eyeballs." What was going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And what are you referring to in that world? There's a lot of quarterbacks out there right now. There's a lot of new coming veteran free agents coming right now. It seems like a wild time in the NFL. What do you know, Shregs?
There were 3 dominoes I was waiting to fall. One of them was the Rodgers piece, which I thought he was going back to Green Bay. You knew much more than I did, obviously, and I thought that would happen fine. Then the Denver piece, because I knew they were in talks for multiple different things. And when Russell comes over there, and then the third one was, where's Wentz going? So I put the eyeballs up on Tuesday, or because I thought, all right, Wentz is next. All right, there's definitely a Wentz trade coming. And then it didn't. But then when it did, I was like, all right, we got my 3 that I knew were happening. Came down. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, you'd say, well, that's the 4th one. Here's my thing on Jimmy right now. Yes, it makes sense for the Colts, but it also would make sense for New Orleans. It also would make sense for Carolina. It also might make sense for a host of other teams. So whereas, yes, all right, let's go get Jimmy. There's a market for Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you're the Indianapolis Colts, who have now had 5 quarterbacks in 5 years, are you the ones who are going to offer, without a first-round pick, enough to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, who, by the way, is on a 1-year deal? Are we doing this again? Are we getting a quarterback again in the final year of his contract? I just am not sure Indianapolis is the lead dog on the Jimmy Garoppolo stakes, A, for what they can give up, and B, whether that's what they want, another 1-year stopgap with a quarterback, and then we got to do this again next year.
So, Shregs, I just assumed that when the Colts said, hey, Carson, see ya, pal. It's been fun. The experience has been fun. It's been quite a ride. We even had a couple one of these in the ride, the Carson Wentz experience. That should be a roller coaster, by the way.
Yeah.
That should be made somewhere, maybe Disney World or something like Kennywood should probably try it out in Pittsburgh. The Carson Wentz experience. You even get twisted up like Aaron Donald.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bottom, they just slap both of your ankles. Bang! This is what it's like whenever you're watching. And then you get your heart rate up at a lot of times and then drops and then it does a circle. That'd be interesting. So they didn't have a backup plan already in place for the Carson Wentz experience being moved on? Or do you just think that they know they can get something or somebody? And is that an accurate thought if that is the case?
Yeah, I think you're going through a transition on a lot of spots in the coaching staff right now where Eberflus is gone, the offensive coordinator is obviously there, but Press Taylor, the quarterback's coach, he's gone. So I'm curious to see what's in it. The truth of the matter is this: Carson Wentz was not going to be the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts next season. The owner made it quite clear from my conversations at the Combine that was not going to be the case. Chris Ballard trades him away, also gets Washington to pick up the whole bulk of the contract, which was a masterful move.
Is that normal?
I'm not sure.
Is that normal or not? It was being treated as if that was not normal. I just assumed that was the case, not case.
No. A lot of times the other team will have to eat some of the contract and say, you get the player. But that's what the Stafford and Goff trade, the biggest piece to the Rams, which they were so over the moon about, was obviously Stafford. But the second part was that the Lions agreed to take on that contract from Goff. And they're like, all right, you're going to take Goff and that contract? Great. Well, that's where we're at here with the Washington deal. So the Washington Commanders, who needed a quarterback, and they might view Carson Wentz differently than a lot of the rest of the league, they also took on the contract. So I think that was the key. We have to get rid of Wentz and get something for him. They did. But to assume that there was a quarterback in the making that they've got, okay, well, we've got this deal, turnkey, boom, snap. I don't know if that's the case in Indianapolis.
Okay, so let's think about a little bit more. And a lot of people are going to be mad that we're only talking about the Colts, but the Colts just so happen to be the news conversation right now with Carson Wentz out there. Shrakes.
But it goes on to other teams, too. I mean, that's the thing. We could talk Colts, but it's in the sphere of 31 other competing teams that all, are in the quarterback market as well.
Okay, so let's talk about, you're saying New Orleans. Hey, there's no Italians down there, Jimmy.
No,
you hear me?
no.
There's no Italians down there. Carolina, the whitest, Irishest city of all time.
Sure.
There's no Italians there. Here in Indy, pretty predominant Italian voices.
A lot of Italians in here.
Pretty Italian.
I thought we weren't going to spread misinformation on this program.
What did I say that was wrong? Pretty dominant Italian voices in Indianapolis. Go on, please.
You did say that.
Yeah, it's exactly what we. Hey,
Fazzolini's. They're in Indy.
there's a new Tony's Steakhouse. Shrakes told us about it.
That's right.
Jimmy loves
It's
Subway.
been around, but it is delicious.
It is. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, what's that?
Where else are you going to get piping hot breadsticks?
Oh, that's Fazzolini's you're talking about.
You're still covered.
Anyways, okay, so Kirk Cousins is now allegedly on the move as well. So if he was to come to the Colts, like let's say today or tomorrow, because he could be a guy that would put us in position to win, the Vikings would pick up a portion of that $45 million salary cap hit. And is he actually on the move, or they're hoping he's on the move?
I saw Jason Lockenfora's report, and I'll just say, during the coaching hire process, Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins' relationship seemed to be very important when they hired O'Connell. So the money, knowing Kirk and his representation, he's not taking a discount. So that $45 million number you've seen, that's what it'll be. I don't see him suddenly saying, yeah, let's restructure and make it. I just don't. But I also would use a little bit of caution. Just in the hiring of O'Connell, a lot of that was, hey, he was with Cousins in Washington. They had a relationship. I would be really surprised if they traded him today or tomorrow without some further talks. And it came to that, they never had an opportunity to really work together. So I'm not so sure Cousins is on the block, and I could be proved wrong. That number is a different atmosphere than we've ever even seen that number. But right now, I would probably lean towards not so fast.
How long do those deals take? The Jimmy G deal, you said 4 teams are already involved. There's probably every team that wants a quarterback is involved in that thing. Does it just become an arms race? Hey, this is what we can offer. And how much does Jimmy have say in this? Because, Lynch, Shanahan, and Jimmy basically have all come out publicly and said, we're going to work together to find the right home for me. Is it just best offer? How will these teams end up winning this? And when do you see this all taking place? Because that is the next domino, right? For all the other teams to see Mariota and any of the other quarterbacks that they're thinking about.
I think San Francisco's in no rush because they have their quarterback. So it's what's right for Jimmy is going to be getting him to the team that he prefers. And obviously they want everything to end up right there. But I think it's one of those deals where they don't mind keeping the rest of the league, on the edge of their seat. And whatever you could talk about Pittsburgh, you could talk about New Orleans, you could talk about all these different teams. But why would San Francisco rush? Now, what's right to do for these teams, so they can fill the rest of their rosters out, is to do it before the draft. But free agency. If one of these teams says, "Hey, it's Jimmy or nothing," that's great. They can sit it out, or they can settle and they can go and get a Trubisky. They could settle and they can go and sign another player, or they could trade for another guy. So I don't think the Niners are feeling this great pressure to do this because, truthfully, there's multiple suitors right now, and they have their quarterback. So why should they bend over backwards to get a job done before seeing the best offer possible?
That's such a brilliant, savage, but brilliant. We'll get back to you next week. And all these other teams are like, come on. Come on, we're trying to do business. It's that's competitive advantage, though, keeping a quarterback out of a system for however long and making that. Now, is Jimmy G don't worry about it, fuck me over in this entire thing because you guys are okay?
I don't think he's being effed over. I think there's enough good destinations where I think he might be like, hey, whatever works out for everyone, it's fine. I just want to have a say or at least be aware of where I'm going beforehand. And I think knowing John, knowing what they're building there in San Francisco, I think they'll do what's right and they'll keep his representation in the loop. And they're not going to trade him to some barren lands team that has no chance to go to the playoffs.
Oh, Jimmy G would not deserve that. He's going out to nowhere.
Hey, I'll throw another thing in that I heard a lot this week with the Wednesday. Stafford wanted to be a Ram, and McVay and Cabo, the whole thing. But Stafford also was willing to be a Colt last year.
Stafford doesn't.
No.
He was willing to do it. He didn't say no to the Colts.
Is he going to
the
the Colts
Niners,
now?
the Rams, and the Colts were the three teams. And you look back at this thing, and it's like, was last year the year you should have been aggressive? And last year is when you mortgaged the whole future. And that's who you go out. They didn't. So, Indianapolis, I feel for them in this case that, hey, look, we're in this spot right now. We want to win, and we got this team. But, like, they didn't go over the top to go get, Matthew Stafford last year. It was more, hey, Frank Reich and Carson Wentz can go do this thing.
Well, hold on. And then 2 years ago, the last two Super Bowl champion quarterbacks allegedly had ties to Indianapolis in the offseason. We grabbed Phillip Rivers because of his familiarity with the system. Then we picked up Carson Wentz
because
his familiarity with the system.
Sure.
Is Frank Reich the problem?
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Brainstorm. Maybe.
I did remember there was rumors that Stafford was zillowing in Indianapolis, right? Wasn't that something that was happening?
He was willing to come.
What do you mean,
Right
really?
offer. Detroit would have done it.
Jeez. Oh, no.
Let's move on. A lot of vets getting cut right now, Shrakes. What is this all about? Is this salary cap? Is this the turnover of the league? And do you see more of this happening as this week continues before, the league year begins next week where they have to have the salary cap and the roster already set up, basically?
I do. It's my least favorite week. It's the week before free agency when a lot of veterans are
Masker week.
walking papers.
Masker week, dude.
Salary cap just came out, and now everyone knows exactly what they have to get to. So, when that first CBA was signed in 2011, one of the unexpected consequences was the whole middle class of the NFL. Those veterans that are like that second tier, they took a real hit. The guys who are going to get paid are going to get paid, and then the young guys are going to play on cheap labor. Then this last negotiation in 2020, the hope was that was going to be addressed, but still seems like the middle class veteran, the guy who's going for his second or third contract is the one who's going to suffer. So you see guys like Roger Saffold, who's a great player for the Titans. They couldn't make it work. You see guys, of course, like Kyle Rudolph in New York, where
Feliciano.
great player, good dude,
Feliciano,
just wasn't going to work because these teams need to get under the cap.
Feliciano, too, out of Buffalo.
I love John. Great dude. And yeah, he takes it. Kendall Lamb in Tennessee, another good player, was supposed to make $3 million this year, cut. So it sucks.
And the reason why, for what you were saying about the CBA, is they saved $2.6 million on that $3 million to get a rookie minimum contract. And the veteran min is another $500,000 above that. And the concept, whenever they put that in there, was we'll get the veteran guys that are teamers and backup guys who have been around the NFL for a long time, who deserve more. We'll get them more money. And then all the roster people were like, oh, if we cut two of these guys, we save $1 million. That's three rookies we can actually sign there. So let's go ahead and just see you later. And that's special teams. We saw it. Like, those are all my guys, basically, just getting sliced out. Now it's all rookies. And I'm like, man, that guy's like a game changer or whatever. This guy's $500,000 cheaper. I mean, what do you want from us?
It's true.
Right.
It's true. And it sucks, but that's what it is. And, you look at these veterans and they say, well, then another team will sign them for. Yeah, but is another team signing the guy that you didn't think was worthy enough? And it becomes really tricky. And I know that, I talk to a lot of those veteran players, but also the veteran agents. That's the worst phone call to make because a lot of these, you come out of combine week and everyone's hyping these rookies. And the other call is, hey, I got to call my veteran guy and tell him that he's probably out of work in about 3 days.
Yeah, the draft was always something nobody looked forward to, because a couple of my friends are getting replaced right there on TV. By some young punk.
Damn it.
They ain't never done nothing out there. Go ahead, Ty.
Shrakes, for the last year or so, there's been rumors that Christian McCaffrey might be on the move. Is there any other teams that you see, is that real? Is he potentially going to get traded? Or are the Panthers kind of just standing pat until they hear about what's going on with Desean Watson, and then he might be part of that package to go get him?
It's interesting. I don't know. I haven't heard directly from any of the Carolina guys that McCaffrey's on the move or is on the trading block. And I don't know the market for a running back making $16 million necessarily either. The quarterback position is all that matters right now in Carolina. And that's what's been most paramount. What I look at with the Desean Watson situation is Friday, which is tomorrow, he has a grand jury on 8 different criminal cases. We'll know if he's got criminal charges. But there still needs to be clearance on a lot of these civil cases. And then the league could still suspend Watson for a year on top of that, even if he is cleared of the criminal charges. So it's a team and a market and I guess I would say, ownership group that has a stomach for taking all that on, because obviously it's not great public relations wise. And yet, if you're confident enough in the young man and you've got a building that you think can handle that, well, then he's going to get a second chance in the league. It's just which team is going to be the one that says, you know what, not only are we going to trade all these picks, but we're going to go and get that guy, which a lot of people might not be comfortable with him joining our team.
There's no actual expectation that clears up tomorrow, right?
No, I don't think so. Like, we'll get the first part of it tomorrow.
I don't know shit about fucking the law world, but that's always just like really, really, really long, right?
I saw a tweet from a sports lawyer guy who said grand juries will indict a ham sandwich if they get a chance. So good luck.
So a lawyer said that. A lawyer said that.
Yeah.
On his
grand juries love indicting. So he said, and the saying in the biz is grand juries will indict a ham sandwich. So.
Well, what'd the ham sandwich do?
Well, I think that's what he's talking about. Right. Like he was just sitting there.
Ham sandwich did nothing.
Well, we don't know that, right? Yeah. I guess that's what the grand jury.
We'll find out.
Dumbest show of all time. But yeah, that's going to be a long process. And I feel like it sounds like a lot of teams are like, all right, on Friday, we'll know if we're going to trade 3 firsts and a couple players for Desean Watson or whatever.
There might be a team that is, though, right? Like, in a weird way, it's like we're in such quarterback purgatory that we'll make that risk, and hopefully our fan base can handle it, and we'll deal with it at this point. That's where a lot of these teams are at, because he still is one of the best players under 30 in the NFL. And what's interesting, and a different general manager said to me and said, you know, if a team does that, like, you're putting your entire career on that one move as a general manager, as a team president, as a coach. And then the other part of it is like, he's not Tom Brady. Remember, his team was a 4-win team the last time he took the field. So I'm fascinated to see what the market price is, whether he would waive his no trade, and then if the legal stuff continues to drag on, which team has got the stomach to take it on? Because it is unsavory. It's nothing. There's nothing good about what he's accused of.
Yeah, very, very serious allegations, and we hope justice is served either way, whatever it is, 1,000%. But that is, I mean, there would have to be clauses in the contract, I guess, for all those traded picks. Like if he ends up in jail for 50 years, like we would like those picks back. Has there been precedent for that or no?
No. And that's it. You're trading for the player. And Houston, to their credit, they paid him the full salary this year, and he still has a no trade clause. But they have made it very clear he will never, if he doesn't want to be here, like, we're going to try to get him out of here if we can. And it hasn't happened yet.
Okay. So no trade clause conversation. By the way, justice, either way, that's all, I think, very serious allegations. That's why it continues to befuddle me that there's some teams that are willing to give it. And why didn't he end up on the exemption list? I'm very confused about all of it. The no trade clause. So whenever Russell Wilson is thinking about being shopped, there's reports that Seattle said, we're not going to trade him within the NFC. So then it came out afterwards, once he ended up at Denver, that he did not waive his no trade clause to Washington and Philly. Those seem to be like contradicting reports because both of those teams are in the NFC. So if Seattle says we're not going to trade him within the NFC, and then he gets traded to an AFC team, and then it comes out, well, he wouldn't trade for, he wouldn't go to Washington or Philly. That doesn't seem like that makes sense. Do you have any clarity on that? And is that something No,
I don't. I know that, and this has been disputed many times. But I know that while we've talked about this, that Denver and Green Bay weren't really engaging because everyone, out of respect to Rodgers, was letting him kind of drive the wheel on this thing or hold the wheel and kind of steer conversation. And Hackett, who I know really well, was like, if you know Aaron, you're not going to call like on Monday night and be like, hey, let me make the pitch for Denver here. Like, we got great mountains and, there's an awesome wide receivers room. Like, that's not what Rodgers knew what time it was. And it's also tampering for anyone to reach out to him directly. So while that was going on, GMs can talk. And since the Senior Bowl, which was Super Bowl bye week, the week before the Super Bowl, George Payton and John Schneider were in talks building the framework for Russell Wilson. So
wow.
if they had to choose like Rodgers or Wilson, that's another conversation. But it really never got to that because Denver was like, Rodgers obviously would be an amazing Denver Bronco, but he's going to be the one deciding. With Russell Wilson in that deal, like, they were engaged since then, and then in the combine, talks really heated up. And kudos to those guys for not leaking any of it.
Anytime you say plan A or plan B, it's like you're saying this one's better than this one. But the fact that they had two different plans running concurrently is good business, I feel like, out of General George Payton. You would hope that everybody would be doing that at a position like the NFL general manager. They got a good one, and I'm a big fan. Hey, Shregs, it feels like you're a veteran player fan. The way you act and operate, the way you talk. I feel like you try to paint a narrative to take care of players more often than not. How come people are saying that Seattle won that trade because they got a bunch of picks? Now, we're going to a break here, hour 1 wrapping up on Sirius XM. We'll have more on the other side about sports. AJ Hawk joins us then. Great. I mean, that was really
yeah,
How come people are saying Seattle won that trade? And do you think that around the league, picks are going to become much less important than they had been in the past because so many of these dudes flame out, fizzle out, and if you can get a vet, especially with the way the salary cap can be manipulated, you go and do that. There's people that think Seattle won that trade, and I think that's what Seattle's probably selling. They lost. Did they not? I mean, they got their ass beat in that trade because they get a Hall of Fame quarterback in Denver, and you lose one in Seattle. Give me the Hall of Famer every single time. Shrakes.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Denver's doing flips, and they haven't been to the playoffs since Peyton Manning left. And it was odd because the trade was made 10 years to the first visit Peyton Manning had to Denver, and there's a lot of symmetry in that. And when Peyton Manning got there, he also brought with him Wes Welker, and then the next year DeMarcus Ware and Aqib Talib and Emmanuel Sanders. Like, that's what the veteran and the Hall of Famer does. He brings other guys with him, not tangibly, but they know that, okay, if I'm deciding between Tennessee, where it's Tannehill, or Denver, okay, well, it's Russell Wilson. Like, I'll go to Denver and try to win a chip. Last but not least, I would say Seattle did a fine deal because the road was done. Like, it was done with Russ there. They had done
because
everything
of Russ,
they can.
because
it
of
was
them.
over. So
Why?
they got all that for him.
Why, Shrakes? Because of Russ or because of them?
Everyone. It was over. It was done. It had run its course, and they weren't competing for a Super Bowl this year with Russell Wilson at the quarterback position. So they said, let's get something for him. They get a lot for him. They really did. But ask the Rams if they regret trading, first-round picks for Matthew Stafford. Ask the Bucks if they resent going all out and all in when they went and signed Tom Brady. Like, I think at this day and age, like, you need one of those quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl, and Russell Wilson's one of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll see, the decision to trade Russell Wilson as opposed to Pete Carroll will be something that everybody will watch, because it's not working because of the quarterback or it's not working because of the coach is always the mindset whenever something's not working. I love them both. Hey, I love them both. But I think that'll be how this whole thing will be judged inevitably. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Shrakes. Amari Cooper was reported to be released, and now they're kind of trying to trade him. Is he drawing any interest from teams, or they just, clearly already know that if they don't get a trade done, he'll be released and they can redo his contract?
Well, those are my favorite news leaks, and they came at the Combine that he's going to be cut. So then at the last second, you get about 10 calls saying, whoa, before you cut him, let us trade him. Well, no trade has happened yet. So I believe that was put out there intentionally to see if there could be a market created. But as of right now, I'm not sure what the market is for Amari, and I think free agency might be the option if he is released.
He's coming to the Colts, right?
Yeah.
I would love it. It'd be great. There's a lot of teams that can use him. He's a good player.
Miami.
The Colts.
Patriots.
Miami, they already said.
Hey, we are
27 years old, receiver who's had great seasons. A pretty good player.
He really likes Waddle, too, he said.
Yeah, but he also
Best
just likes
friend.
chilling, and Indy's a great place just to chill.
He's a Bama guy. with
Not a
Mac
talker. Not a talker.
Go ahead, Tone.
Shrakes,
I tried to talk to that fucking guy. That's what Shrakes just said. Go ahead,
Shrakes,
Tone.
there was a lot of buzz around Mitch Trubisky during the Combine week, and there's a report about him in New York, blah, blah, blah. But there hasn't been a lot of buzz about Mariota or Jameis, too. Like, what's going on with those three last chance QBs?
Yeah, I think everyone looks at Trubisky now as like, all right, let me get my grips on him, because he now had a year with Dable and he had a year with those Giants and the Bills and learning from Allen. And maybe you look at the Chicago situation and say, well, okay, he was drafted second overall, and everyone kind of had the same board. As much as everyone wants to kick and scream how he was drafted before Watson and Mahomes, there wasn't any great outrage when Trubisky was taken before those guys. So that's where the intrigue is. With Mariota, solid, serviceable veteran. We've talked about it. Like, he's good. And then Jameis, it's coming off a very serious injury, and he's been in New Orleans for 2 years. And if they don't want him back, well, then what does he bring into my team? So I think Trubisky, because he's not untainted, but he's one of these deals where it's like, all right, there might be something still there. The other two guys, I think we kind of know what we're getting.
Well, Shrakes, we appreciate you, man.
Love you guys.
Every time you come on, we know what we're getting to. An absolute stud dressed in Hollabird Sports. Out of Baltimore. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmy-nominated host of Good Morning Football, Pete Shrakes. Appreciate you. All right, we're back in 2 minutes with Hour 2. AJ Hawk will join us. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going on. Did he tell us anything we didn't know? Oh, yeah, Russ and them have been cooking this for a while.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in 2. See you then.
I want to tell you a story. A story about a young man who once had a gambling problem, perhaps, before all these FanDuel sports books. The greatest app, the greatest place to gamble existed. There were bookies, there were illegal gambling rings. And one time, yes, I was a part of one. And I could not pay my bill, per se. I broke my legs. But now, because of FanDuel Sportsbook, they saved my life. That's why I will always gamble with the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel Sportsbook.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck
McAfee
are you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. I guess that probably is a part of the entire decision-making process. Hour 2 on this March 10th, 2022 shall begin right now. We had a conversation off air that lingered on air right there, and it's probably very accurate. The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Mullet's looking fantastic. Tone Diggs in a custom Tone Diggs. No, not Diggs. Tone Diggs collection hat.
There you go.
Designed by Tone Diggs, created by
Travis Austin.
Had a baby Travis. It's a great hat. You look incredibly cool. One half of the Hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, a gambling show that goes live 15 minutes after this show ends every single day at youtube.com/Hammer. Dahn. That's DAHN. March Madness is here. The boys are cooking. NHL gambling's happening. Let's go. Let's continue to win some money from FanDuel. They have money to win. There's other places.
Unfortunately,
Not so much.
they're tanking.
You just gotta have it. If you have the superior product, you will win.
Bingo.
Simple as that.
You can dress everything up. You can dress everything up however you want to. But if you have the best product, you will win. FanDuel is just so goddamn easy and good. Last night I was watching an NHL game on FanDuel, like on the app. They were showing the goddamn game.
Awesome.
It was incredible. It was like, all right, here we go. And I saw somebody get, give me a live bet on that thing.
Need it.
Need it right now. And I watched That's Hockey Talk last night, and I seen the boys chit-chat with a 7-time Stanley Cup champion. And then Weeksy, Kevin Weeks, 2 guests last night. Rupp did the show from Vegas. We're really crushing right now.
Here we go, boys.
Speaking of crushing, a man who's crushed everything he's ever done in his entire life, college football national champion. He had, what do you have, 23 tackles in a high school game?
31, I think.
31 tackles in a game in high school twice.
Jeez.
Ridiculous.
Centerville, Ohio, as an elk. College football national champion, Super Bowl champion, COVID survivor, AJ. AJ with his Chuck Berry shirt on. Obviously, it has been far too long for him not to make an appearance. How you doing, pal? Great to see you.
Hey, what's happening with these sports books other than FanDuel?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like they need to get back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
They're dying.
Did something happen like publicly that we know about?
Yeah, there's a lot of things getting announced. Now, granted, I don't know about but like we pay attention pretty closely because, FanDuel's obviously our largest partner in this entire thing, and that sportsbook world's only going to grow, so you got to keep an eye out on what's going on. It's also very fascinating, the business side of this entire thing. This will probably go on to be $1 trillion business at some point. And right now, as something is kind of, beginning and the trails are being blazed, there's a lot of decisions being made, there's a lot of things happening. It's all very fascinating if you're into that type of shit. The sportsbooks world right now is very fascinating. Who's spending money where, how it's working out. But I think, and I might be wrong in this, if you have the best product, you're going to win. Like that's just how it always goes. So FanDuel has so much of their assets going right to their tech in their entire thing. They go down one time out of nowhere. We had like 230,000 bets on one fucking bet, by the way.
Yeah.
But they go down out of nowhere. Everybody's like very confused. It's almost like when Facebook started with Zuck. He's like, we cannot crash. We cannot crash. So they got all their fucking coders in the back doing the entire thing. FanDuel's tech is just so smooth, so quick, so efficient, and so reliable. And we're lucky that that's the one we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very lucky, yeah.
That we gamble on full time. But anyways, that's good business research is going to happen on the whole sportsbook thing 15, 20 years from now. If people tell the truth on it, it'll be interesting. Speaking of telling the truth, AJ, before we went live on air, I ran to the bathroom. I came back. It was like as the intro was running. And I was just thinking to myself as I was going to the bathroom, like Schrags brought up a very valid point. We could have had Tom Brady 2 years ago. Tom Brady was linked to the Colts, wanted to come to the Colts. We took Phil Rivers because Phil Rivers and Frank Reich had a relationship when he was at the Chargers, obviously. Then this past offseason, Matthew Stafford was zillowing in Indianapolis, okay? Thought he was going to Indy. And then obviously Cabo happened. Well, a little tampering maybe. I don't know.
Seems like
You tell me.
Yeah.
Probably he's supposed to go to the Colts, but instead he ends up in LA. Both those dudes go on to win Super Bowls. But the reason why we got both quarterbacks, Carson and Rivers, is because they had direct ties to Frank Reich as a head coach and a play caller. I understand relationships are vital and everything like that. But the boys, Connor said something. All eyes are on Frank Reich this season, right? I mean, I assume Jim's not necessarily thrilled that both the guys that they were linked to, that they inevitably did not choose, went on to win Super Bowls with their new teams. And we are now sitting here kind of, with no quarterback, which is where we are. Not that Tom Brady would still be playing, but it's just, that's, when you look back on how we got to this point, that is something that needs to be noted, I think.
Are you talking about this because of the alleged report that Frank Reich apologized to the front office, I guess, for vouching for Carson?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not just talking about that because of that, although that does add to it.
Did that happen? Do you think that happened?
Zach Keefe for good sources.
I mean, yeah, I guess I wonder how that goes. What do you say if you're Frank Reich?
I fucked up.
He wouldn't say that. Fudged.
Yeah.
True.
Fudged up.
I fudged up, Jim. I'm sorry.
Which led us to the point that what we were talking about, him saying fudged up. Maybe it was like the personal, deeper relationship. They're both very godly.
Spirituality.
Listen, you do what you got to do. But picking with your familiarity seems like a smart decision and all that. But hindsight tells us that you got it wrong. You literally got it wrong 2 different times. That's just that's interesting to me because they got to be feeling that in that building. Have to be feeling. Frank has to sit with that. And Frank cares, obviously. We watch Hard Knocks. He obviously cares. But at what point do we get a quarterback that becomes our quarterback for this Colts team that has been built up beautifully? Darius Leonard put out a tweet and said, here we go again. Here we go again. 5 years, 5 different quarterbacks. Thank you, Carson, for everything this year, my guy. Wish you nothing but the best. Darius Leonard, I don't think he was saying this in any negative light. I think he was probably actually trying to be funny with this entire thing. But that is a sad state where how good of a football player he is, Quentin Nelson is, Jonathan Taylor, DeForest Buckner. They have all pros. Kenny Moore, they have all pros everywhere on that team. They just can't find the goddamn most important position, AJ. When's that going to happen?
This is every team that doesn't have a franchise quarterback, they're scrambling to find one. I just feel like the Colts may stand out, obviously, because of how close you are to the team and live there and all that. Every other team's doing it, but they just don't build up their team around that quarterback position as well as the Colts have done. They've drafted very well, and guys are stars all over the place, and they're just trying to figure out who's going to be under center. And guess what? It doesn't look much easier right now. What do you do now?
Kirk Cousins. I have Vikings pay him.
Okay.
Vikings pay him.
Vikings pay him. Kirk Cousins comes here, even though Pete Schrager said, well, a massive part of the interview process was Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins' relationship.
Right.
So Jason LaConfora is reporting that they're potentially shopping Kirk Cousins, and he's become a hot name on the market. Jason LaConfora, how's the family? How's Gabagool?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing, huh?
How you doing?
You want to fucking go for a swim, huh? Yeah, you ain't holding your breath that long.
Oh, thanks, man. So.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking blip, 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 blip. That's what I'm talking about.
Bubbles.
How's the Gabagool down there? Very wet. And also, drowned.
Bubbles disappear.
How's the family, though?
How you doing?
Dump a body in a mosh.
When I tell you.
Speaking of Gabagool, have you seen the new Jimmy G Subway commercial?
No, is it gabagool?
Gabagool sandwich.
A lot of gabagool.
Is it the Italian?
Yeah. He's got his Nona in it.
Do they have the emoji just across the screen? You don't even call it. So you know how Prince went from a name to a symbol?
Yeah.
What if that's how you had to order it at Subway? You walk up, you go, I'll take a foot long. All right. Toasted. Obviously, give me the mozzarella. And I would like a little fried mozzarella on the side. Give me a little bit of a salad with some seasoning. That's what you got to do at Subway?
Yeah.
Someone please do that. Will someone do that and film it, please?
Hey, give me the...
The person's looking at him like, are you okay? What's wrong with you?
I need some extra...
The only issue is we don't like to put our Italian meats on Play-Doh and eat it off of that normally.
Whoa. Yoga mats, dude. Fucking get it right. Get it right, dude. I was in a big Subway run at the time. Learned about that. I thought I was eating healthy. Give me the full-on tuna. That's what I want to eat. And then I find out that tuna has more calories than the Big Mac. And then I was eating yoga mats. I mean, I thought I was doing right by my body. Turns out I was just absolutely slaughtering it. Anyways, shout out to the Joining us now is a man that I've been a massive fan of for a long time. Incredibly talented. Go Dogs. A man out of Georgia, obviously loves the Falcons. He has a new music video out in the middle that is debuting Manana. The Out in the Middle tour is coming to your city. You can get tickets right now at ZachBrownBand.com. An absolute living legend in the music industry. If you've ever seen him live, he sounds exactly like the motherfucker sounds in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Brown.
Yeah!
Holy shit! Look how cool you look.
What's happening?
Hey, how are you, man? Thank you for making time. We're all actually massive fans of yours. We think you're so talented and your songs are sweet. So thank you for making time for us.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
Okay, so Out in the Middle. Let's get to this. Let's chat about it. You got a new music video coming out tomorrow. We saw it. Fucking fire, dude. Hey, this thing's fire. Whenever you start making songs like that, because obviously you've collabed with Avicii, you've gone all different genres. We go to your live show, you hit Sandman. This feels like a real country song. Are you getting back to full country roots here for this next tour? And how do you get to that process creatively?
Yeah, so I got to write this song with Luke Combs, who I'm a fan of. And just getting my band together for the first time that I saw all of them back in the studio together, it was just magic. I missed, it's been like 2 years of destruction and things getting smashed, businesses getting smashed and things like that. But what came out of that was just rejuvenation and being able to create at home, to want to sit with my guitar and craft and write at home. And my creativity, my headspace is better than it's ever been. And just through all those storms and coming back out again and being a part of something that helps to bring people together. I feel like with all the politics and all the bullshit that's out there dividing everyone, that music is one of those things that we need, that's a unifier, and it's important.
How tough is it to continue to write just hit songs like year after year after year and be so consistent? I would imagine once you put an album out, you're like, all right, I feel pressure to come up with another album eventually. When you put that one out, like, is that something you ever think about?
The love and the creation, the crafting of it is so fun for me. I love that part. I love getting to dive in to the vocal parts, to just like putting something together. First of all, having something to say that people can relate to, that creative process, and the people that I get to write with. I've got some new people that I've been writing with for this last year. That part is really the easy part for me. I love that part. I love creating the new things and then figuring out how we're gonna perform live, how we're gonna put that all together in a way, and then figure out the show where we have, our band's one of those that you have to see live to kind of understand, because of all the diversity that we do, and putting together covers and curveballs and things that people would never think that we would be playing. We definitely are on country radio and we're Southern, but when you see our live show, it is all over the place. And so I'm very diverse, being from Atlanta. I've been exposed to all different kinds of things and then traveling the world the last 20 years, just that's been the greatest school for everything. I love the creative process, and, that part's not hard for me. I think my headspace and being through like some difficult things at home and being through COVID and all those things now, but having the time to reflect, because it's been like the first 10 years, it was like holding on to a rocket ship and just kind of trying to stay sane, trying to grow and still stay creative. But my headspace now is great. Like I'm present in it. You know, the things that COVID destroyed were things that I didn't really need anyway. You know, I think we realized that we get along a lot better with a lot leaner group and a smaller circle of people. And my team is amazing. And this year, our tour, we're doing stuff that I've always wanted to do and never had the headspace to create and put the time into.
Man, I've been to a couple of your shows, your band shows, and I'm on Cloud 50, you know. I got some good friends that live down the street. And then as soon as that ends, all of a sudden the stage goes black. And then, and then you got this dude with chops who's out just absolutely killing Enter Sandman. It is an experience. You are great on the road. Like, you guys sound better live almost than in the studio. Have you always been into music? Did you know this is what the future was for you? And when did it all start?
Yeah, I mean, since I could talk, I was singing. And I had siblings, like my older brother was just like, shut up, stop singing, stop making noise.
You're one of 12, right?
Yeah, that's including step and in-laws and all that. I mean, since I was a kid, you know, my siblings are older. My dad's 86, so he's been at it for a while. I was kind of the last hurrah for him. So my oldest brother's 21 years older, but that's what got me onto like 70s music, you know. I grew up listening to, you know, Allman Brothers and Pink Floyd and the Eagles and real songs, James Taylor, Jim Croce, like that culture, listening to that older music is really what formed my taste for these things. You know, it's just a blessing to get to do what you love to do, but also to try to stay relevant. Like, what are we going to bring to the city the next time we come, so that they're like, okay, we're going the next year, and just keep it going. You know, we're really, really blessed. And my team, my band, you know, I think the secret to it all is being the worst guy in the band.
yeah, that's obviously you. Yeah, because you sing every song right on tune every fucking night. I have no idea how you do it. I scream into a microphone every single day. I just learned I have allergies last week. My shit's terrible. I don't know how you do what you do. It feels like you're a chef, but hey, you've gotten kind of yoked up lately, right? I think it was on College Game Day. I believe you were singing for one of their shows, and they had this drone shot. And have you been getting after it right now? Do you have an entire workout regimen? And how do you keep the vocal cords healthy?
You know, yes, I'm trying to hit it. I'm trying to be as healthy as I possibly can. I want to have as much energy. I love to adventure. I love to be in the woods. I love to free dive. I don't want to be one of those hunched over, red-faced, you know, old guys that can't, you know, they can't move around. You know, I want to be able to run up and down mountains until I'm, you know, when I'm old. And so I've been on a regimen to try to just take care of myself, feel as good as I can for my kids and for the music. And, you know, I'm on a tear. Anything that makes me better, feel better. I've been working with a life coach the last 5 months, which has been really cool, doing a lot of plant medicine work. Those things have been really awakening for me. And I'm always curious and hungry about how to keep things going.
That probably helps you writing, right? A life coach, because that's a lot of therapy, right? You're talking about yourself probably to them. I assume that's bringing up a lot of ideas for music and shit. Are you writing already, and are you writing constantly?
Constantly. I've already started, you know, writing for this next album. I've already got a great batch of songs going. You know, like I said, man, I'm just in such a good headspace. Home is creative and happy. My kids are good. Business is good. You know, we've at the end of this year, we'll be out of the debt from COVID, because watching that rack up, you know, 90% of my earning was playing shows. And so for 2.5 years, shut down, you know, and just, I'm blessed to be in a place I negotiated a long time ago to be able to own my masters. And so I was able to get a loan big enough to survive it all. And then right when we went on tour last year, I just reached the credit limit. and without having to go back and figure it out.
Hey, hey, let's go. Yeah. Hey, that's a motivational story for everybody fucking going all in. And you're incredibly talented. I assume everybody would say, yeah, you're going to make it. But there's a moment there where you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, fucking this is everything right now. Congrats. You're like almost reborn again. It feels like an entire new run. I'm excited to hear the music that comes from this, man. Go ahead, AJ.
Zach, so do you ever watch, like, I see, so Kanye is doing these listening parties and he'll show up 2 hours late, and Pat and I, all we talk about is, man, I know you have huge overtime fees. You got to pay for these unions if you are renting these arenas or you have a venue. You ever think about that? And, like, how strict are they? And if you have to get off at a certain time, are you guys always sure to get off right at that time?
Yeah, there's some shows where it's like 10 grand for every 10 minutes that you go over.
Hey, you're coming to Indy. Hey, you're coming to Indy. I'll put up $100 grand. Just fucking, just keep it going. Just keep
That's
it
right. Yeah. So, being professional is part of it too. We've been 10 years where nobody's allowed to drink or smoke or do anything like that before we go on and play. I mean, it's a competitive business. I look at what we do kind of like an athlete. We want to get on stage and put on the absolute best show that we can, or else somebody's going to go spend that money. I watch these ass clown people go on and play a show, and they're drunk. They're drunk and they're not singing good and not, and that's just not. I don't look at it like that, man. This is like a football team. We work together to try to give everybody every drop of energy that we have. And if we don't, and imagine, so there's 110 of us on the road, and so imagine if all of them are allowed to just drink and do whatever they want. They might have had a bad night and show up. Like, I don't tolerate that. And I love every single person that I get to work with, and we take it all really seriously, because the fans, when they buy that ticket to come see us, they deserve to get their money's worth and more. And so that's what keeps us relative and keeps us hungry and curious. I'm never satisfied with where we are. I always want to take it to that next level. And now that I'm through these storms and these things, man, I've got so much bandwidth to put back into the music again. And that's where we're at. There's so much more to come. I feel like in a lot of ways of just getting started. I'm working on things. I want to be a lean, ripped machine by the end of this year. I've never been able to get like fully in shape where I'm just like, flexible and working on these things. So there's a lot of goals and things that I'm working on, but it's all around things that serve me, and just keep plowing down that road. And we're so blessed to have the fans that we have that show up, and people like yourselves that are helping us to stay connected to people. It's important work, man. Music is powerful. It's power. Bob Marley, it's like when the music hits you, you feel no pain. And we need that right now. You need to turn the fucking news off and listen to some music and look around, because when you get away from all of that noise, this is the best country in the world to live in.
Hey, let's go.
Stand in your way.
Hey, let's go. And by the way, if you didn't come on we are thankful for you coming on this show. If you didn't come on this show, you're selling out everywhere anyways, pal. Your live shows are amazing. It's awesome to hear the attention to detail that you have and how much respect you have for your fans. Like, hey, they're coming out here. They can have fun. All right, but we are doing a show. It pays off every single time. One last question for you here. We know you're busy, so we appreciate your time. This dude created this hat, custom-made hat. Took 8 weeks to get done for an interview with you because he loves your hat game. Tone Diggs.
Zach, obviously great hat game. I respect it. I went to the concert this summer, and when Enter Sandman came on, the place went fucking insane. How do you guys decide which covers you're going to do? And do you know, when that comes on, when the music starts playing, that it's going to be a huge success?
Yeah, things that I've got a good barometer as just like a listener and a music fan. That's where it started for me, was just loving music. And so when we put our encores together, the encore we're putting together for this year is going to be mind-blowing. The whole second half of the show, we got Robert Randolph and the Family Band coming out with us on tour. Insane musicianship there. They're joining my band for the second half of the show. So we've got a super band for the second half of the show this year. And, the horns and the background singers and the whole thing. So, and the set pieces, I've had craftsmen from all over the nation help me to build the pieces that actually make the set for this year. So you're going to be immersed in this giant living room that feels like you're outdoors for this show what we're going to be able to do, and we're bringing it. So if you haven't been to a show, you should come. If you've been, this is definitely going to be one to remember. And I think if we can pull off, which we will, we're going to pull off what my vision is for this. It's going to be something like that I've never done before. So I'm pumped about that.
Hey, I'll be high as shit there watching you. Can't wait to watch. Go to ZachBrownBand.com for tickets. Out in the Middle tour, he's coming to your city. There's an Out in the Middle music video dropping tomorrow. You're a legend, dude. Keep killing it.
Yeah, brother. Thank you, man.
Hey, we appreciate it. I can't wait to see you doing like fucking, like backflips on the stage. Oh, yeah. You're going to be all yoked up. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Brown.
Yeah!
Hey, thank you, dude. Thanks, man.
You just missed the greatest hat tilt of all time.
I didn't miss it. Call him back. Shit. Whenever you talk to somebody like that, uber creative, I enjoy it. Like breaking down his process, and you ask some questions, and like him explaining the set and everything. I love that. And the whole, hey, we got 110 people. Let's not fuck around. And he called some people ass clowns. He's like, I watched some people, these ass clowns, go out and just disrespect everybody that's there, basically. And it shows, by the way, when you go to one of his shows, it's incredible. Hey, it's awesome.
Yeah, they do not mail it in. I've been to a few of his shows over time, and I was like, I didn't know a whole lot even about the band before I was at the place. I'm like, these dudes are unbelievable, and then they're playing all kind of different covers. Yeah, they're pretty. It's pretty amazing, like the range they have.
So, like Dave Matthews, right?
Yep.
He's a live artist. Mm-hmm. Every show goes like 4 hours almost. Yeah. Like there's Zach Brown Band is like, hey, we are a live artist. Like I don't want to say jam band because that just sounds like you're kind of knocking down the creativity. But whenever you go to, it's stupid. I'm a massive fan, and I think it was because I went to a show and I was like, holy shit, these dudes are unbelievable. You know who else sounds very good that I did not expect?
Who?
Wiz Khalifa sounds exactly.
He did. Yes, he did. I agree 100%. He sounded great in person.
Even in the parts that he had to like sing a little bit, he sounded exactly like the studio. Because you go to some of these shows.
What did I say, Pat? Hold on, don't cut you off. What did I say to the boys? I turned instantly to the boys and said, he's a really good singer.
This guy sounds exactly like he sounds on the radio. There's a lot of respect for that, but there's so much that goes into all of that. Taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because my voice changes every single fucking day. I couldn't imagine.
You brought up Dave, and it's ironic because I was thinking about this morning, like, because Dave was awesome concerts. I used to go all the time, and then started going to Zach Brown concerts. He's just like more of a country, like, because they have the whole band. They do every single style of music there.
It's a good
Those
time.
Are the best concerts.
ZachBrownBand.com. The one in Indianapolis will probably be. It sells out every single year.
It's gonna be awesome.
He's gonna be yoked too by then, dude. He's gonna be all shredded. He said shredded up.
Sounds like he wants to get back on the road to make some money too.
Yeah, how about him going all in? Went all in on the business.
Yeah, owning your masters is a massive deal.
That's huge. All these other artists are trying to do that right now. It's like a big initiative, big movement. And he's just sitting back there like, yeah, I did this like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm owning me, dude. All right? You're not owning me, I'm owning me. Which is very similar to Dave Matthews as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very similar to him. I love it. Can't wait to see the show. And now we can say that he came on this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Zach.
Let's get to a break. We'll hit some sports on the other side. Some phone calls on the 5 Hour Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. We have Pat White in the third hour. My former teammate, Pat White, now coach at Campbell. Absolute stud human being. Okay? Wrong era. And I'm bummed for him. Mm-hmm. I got to ride his coattails to a lot of fucking really cool things. You know? And
he was very fun to watch.
He was Mr. Thursday Night. Thursday Night Football was Pat White night. He had game winners. There was a game we're playing against Louisville, and I think we were tied, so a field goal would be a winner, you know? And that's, at that point, I had not hit in one of those. And we're on the last drive, like a minute left or whatever. He hits him, boom, hits somebody with one of those, hits somebody else, 65-yard touchdown into the end zone. Literal first thing he says to me as we're chest bumping, he's like, sorry, Patty Mac, couldn't give you that one or whatever. Jogs off. I'm like, hey, don't you worry. I'm going to try not to miss this fucking extra point. Don't you worry about that, pal. I was very lucky to be teammates and friends with him. Can't wait to chat with him and with you. Once again, that's 1-833-4-McAfee on the 5 Hour Energy phone line. We'll hit those in 4 minutes. Cheers.
Grew up, I was actually a huge Edmonton fan. I was a huge Gretzky fan, and I remember getting, I had this VHS tape. It was Gretzky Above and Beyond. I watched that thing I wore that out, right, and watched it over and over. I remember the one infamous quote that he had when they lost to you guys in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I'm sure you guys all know it was basically, I don't know if it was him and Kevin Lowe, they were walking out of the arena, they look in, and they're expecting to see you guys celebrating with your families, everyone going nuts, and they hear some commotion, but they look in, and it's all the family, the friends, not the players. The players are all icing up, quiet, they're wounded, and that was that moment where they realized, like, that's the difference. We're walking out of this arena fine as losing the Stanley Cup Finals, and they're beat up and not even celebrating per se in this moment because of what they went through to win. And I always thought that was incredible.
You know, it was a compliment in one sense, but that's their version of it. So I got to give you my version, okay? So we had a kid out. You know how we knew that they had to walk by our locker room to get to their bus. And so we had a kid out there saying, okay, just let us know if a couple guys are coming by or one guy's coming by. So we wouldn't be celebrating when they're walking by. So, you know, rubbing salt in the wound sort of thing. And okay, a couple guys are coming. So we just kind of all settled down a little bit. Okay, they're gone. We start quick. Okay, 2 more guys are coming. Okay, we just kind of sit down a little bit. You know, winning's great. Losing is painful. In the finals, it's painful. I lost in '84 to those Creeps, and you know that was painful. But you know what? You learned, and he learned. They went back to the drawing board, and they learned. He goes, you know what? I'm not going to. He told Paul Coffey, he goes, you know, I'm not going to feel like I've done anything. I've won scoring champion, but if I don't win the Stanley Cup like Guy Lafleur and Brian Trottier, I'm now. What a compliment, you know. That kind of stuff is like. That doesn't get out there, you know, because Wayne is pretty intense and he wants to win.
What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on you. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them. Nice. But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. When did that start?
No, you know what? You know, I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on this glorious Thursday. Zach Brown was on the show.
Yeah.
March 10th.
Ooh.
This is a banger of a beat as well, Kyle Best.
Deep drop.
AJ, that was a really cool moment, man. I really enjoyed talking to him. That was awesome.
Did you have any idea that, I know you're going to read that people, you tell everybody that no one can drink before the show? Is that a thing other bands do?
I don't know if I wonder if that's just like, hey, this tour, here's the guidelines. Just like whenever.
He said 10 years, though. He said going on 10 years they've been like that.
It's awesome. It's a good idea.
All business. He's a professional.
It's like an NFL team, he says, because everybody in there is talented too. So it's probably not just his rule. It's probably like
well, if he's 110 people on tour too, that's a shitload of people.
It's a big time show. Yeah. Today's video is sponsored by the best ticket app on earth and the moon. SeatGeek. SeatGeek usually only does first-time codes, but listeners of this show get 10% off at the link in the description, whether you've shopped there before or not.
Hell yeah.
It could work for WrestleMania, the NBA,
What?
NHL,
What?
a Zach Brown concert,
What?
whatever you want to go to. Last week, we gave away tickets to WrestleMania with the hashtag PMS SeatGeek Mania when Vince McMahon came on the show. And we found 2 lucky winners for 2 WrestleMania tickets from your friends at SeatGeek. The winners are Sam Seipert and Corey Thomas. Corey. You're going to WrestleMania. Hell yeah. Just like me. You'll have your WrestleMania moment. Congrats to those 2 for getting their 2 tickets each over to WrestleMania. And remember to get your tickets with SeatGeek. Why would you buy tickets anywhere else? You'd be an absolute stooge. Go to the link in the description of this YouTube video right now, and you will automatically receive 10% off your order, whether you're a first-timer or not. Let's go ahead and run the loop around the NFL with all the news that maybe we haven't talked about. Troy Aikman was allegedly not offered anything to stay at Fox. Once his contract was up, they said, get the fuck out of here. He was being linked to Amazon. Inevitably, he ends up with Monday Night Football on 17.5 M's per year. Congrats to him. This report's coming from Mike Florio. Surprised to hear this, AJ?
I am a bit surprised to hear this. I guess they knew what Joe Buck has 1 year left. They're not going to bring Joe back either. Like, what are we doing?
I have no idea. This makes no sense business-wise. You would assume that,
unless it's good for Greg Olsen. Like, hey, we're already slotting Greg Olsen for that role.
Well, and then Sean Payton was allegedly linked to it as well, and who knows what that's going to go. Would not have expected this. Let's go to the next one. Big news from Field Yates. The Saints have restructured the contracts of Cam Jordan and defensive end
Tano
Passignon, creating $12.445 million in 2022 cap space per source. The team has also re-signed endangered restricted free agent.
I think that is what it is.
Endangered restricted free agent.
One of the last.
Is that unrestricted? Is supposed to be is the E and the U next to each other?
Or is it just supposed to be RFA? And did he just put the E in out there?
Exclusive rights free agent.
Okay.
What does that mean? I've never heard of that. But anyways, they have re-signed exclusive right free agents Carl Granderson and Jalen Dalton. Remember, the Saints at one point this offseason, $71 million over the projected cap, which was $3 million less than what the actual cap ended up being. So they were only $68 million over the cap at one point. You start doing some quick math. They're going to have to make a lot of moves. Keeping Cam Jordan, who's a pillar of the team, around, probably not something that everybody would have expected with his price tag, but definitely worthy of such a thing.
I think they were $42 million over yesterday. So with that, they're probably about $30 million, just $30 million over now.
That's quick math, but you do the plus 0.4 there, 12.4, you go down into the 20s all of a sudden.
Whoa.
And they're keeping every cent monitored on their board, by the way, down there, their salary cap guru. We got a lot of work to still do here. They're going to have to move. They're going to have to restructure. I love this time of year, AJ. What teams can make magic and pull rabbits out of their heads? Shout out to Monday Night Football and really make this entire roster work in the next week or so, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers are still, what, $49 million over? No new reports on the Aaron contract yet?
So that's $49 million with Devontae's franchise tag, which is $20 million, which is not the franchise tag number, which is the top 5 average at your position number. That's 120% of his last contract. He's getting paid more than any other wide receiver that got franchise tagged. You add that on top of Aaron's current existing contract, which has a high salary cap hit, which we'd assume will get worked out here in the next day or so.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We don't know. No deal has been finished or completed is what I'm hearing still. Have you heard that, AJ?
I have no news when it comes to the contract front. Has Rappaport changed anything or reported anything new?
They are still running with it.
Yep. Okay.
Sports Illustrated said Aaron Rodgers had 200 million reasons to go back this morning. This is 2 days later. This is 2 days later. We must be wrong, honestly. At this point, I got awful announcing writing articles about me talking about this. You know, oh, now Pat cares about misinformation on his program. You know, because they're taking. And by the way, they wrote my words as if they were literal and everything that I've said over there. Whatever, dude.
Come on. It's like a COVID situation.
Yeah, whatever, dude. By the way, COVID-19 was crazy.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
That was a wild time.
Legitimately. What was it? The Wall Street Journal put it in there.
Well, and then the NFL.com, there's a writer that said we're the big losers of the entire Aaron Rodgers situation because now our conversations aren't going to be interesting, he said.
Wait, why?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea. The only thing I think I've been described as a lot of things, okay? A lot of things by a lot of people. I don't think anybody's ever described me as not interesting. I feel like, honestly, that's one of the main reasons why I'm able to do what I do. That was quite a shot, I thought, at my show. Hey, motherfucker, I honestly believe that this group of stooges here, we could put on a little paint dry there, and I think we could get a good 20 to 25 minutes out of it.
Oh, yeah.
This group, not me, but I think this group could get 20 to 25 minutes out of that. That dude doesn't know that. I think he's like 5'2". I seen a picture of him. I did.
Wait, where's it from?
He's NFL.com. The league.
The league itself.
The league.
Shield.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was one of these other websites or something.
Hey, he doesn't know me. You don't know me.
You don't know me.
I know me, dude.
You don't know me. You might see me in here. You don't know me. When you're high, you don't know me. Maybe he's right, though. What if those conversations with Aaron, if Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays happens again, are terrible because he went back to the Green Bay fucking Packers?
I guess we'll find out.
Well, I guess so.
They're gonna stink.
Hey, those things better be interesting. I mean, you're talking to a Mount Rushmore NFL player who's maybe one of the most deep-thinking humans in the history of the NFL. Fucking make it interesting.
Yeah. And with some of the conversations you've been having, I think we have a couple things up the sleeve there that it will be interesting. It'll be very interesting. What?
All right.
I don't know, Ty. Calm down.
Show's dead because Aaron went back to the Green Bay Packers. NFL.com reporting that.
It's a good run.
Shit.
Should have came to the Colts, Aaron.
Jeez. What if he goes somewhere else? He goes to Pittsburgh. Jesus.
I know.
How's the guy Bagul?
Wait, so if he would have went somewhere else, then it would have been interesting if he came on next year?
I don't know. I think it was just a little blurb there. You know, we were just a little blurb. We were alongside the NFC North, who were losers in this entire thing.
True.
Because
All the
Aaron
other
went
teams,
back.
yeah.
And then there was a couple others, and then it was
Who were
us.
the winners?
Gunther Kuntz,
Okay.
Bears.
the Packers.
Right.
There was 5 winners.
Owners, the shareholders.
Shareholders.
Yeah,
us as fans, NFL
see
fans.
that.
AJ, was AJ a winner?
AJ was a winner. I
said
think
it
he
all
was
along.
4. I think he was 4.
But he was on
Okay.
the losers, too.
Yeah, because he's part of ours.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
5.
True.
Yeah.
So that might be.
Whatever the case, when's that contract going to come out? It's going to have to be pretty soon. I'm excited to see how they structure it because there is ways to manipulate bonuses to kind of take that salary cap way down. Now, will they be able to figure out a long-term deal with Devontae Adams, or will his $20 million go against the cap next year? That's a big number, especially for a team that's over. They'll figure it out, I assume, right? They have plans for all this stuff, AJ?
Yeah, they have until, July sometime to get a deal with Devontae, don't they?
Yeah, but they have until next week to get below that number.
Yes, that will be interesting to see how they do that. It's going to have to happen pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not just those two, by the way. There's going to be, even if Aaron doesn't go back to the Packers, right, like he is, they still were up over $30 million over. They were still going to have to make a lot of moves. I assume they had a plan for all of this. Speaking of a plan, we learned from Schrager in the last hour, AJ. Russell Wilson's people in the Broncos have been working on a plan since the Senior Bowl. Everybody kind of just knew it was over between Russ and the Seahawks. Schrager told us that they've been working on that since the Senior Bowl. There's a team that clearly had 2 very different plans, not a 1 plan, 2 plan, not an A plan, B plan, because then you would say that this one's better than this one. But they had 2 different plans. We'd assume Aaron was a part of it, even though Aaron didn't know about this or wasn't part of the conversation. I'm just talking about their planning in this entire thing. They were going all in with a veteran quarterback regardless. I love that from the Broncos.
Oh, I think it's awesome. They know that the team around them is going to be good, and let's not sit around and wait for somebody to fall into our lap. Let's go out there and do what it takes to get a guy, and bam, you bring Russell, you bring a bunch of hype, and also that picture with his agent, is that Russ's plane, that jet black plane? That thing's awesome.
So allegedly he has a deal with Alaska Airlines. Believe me, I looked into this. It was a G5. There is either Joe Pompliano tweeted that he bought that plane and it cost about $1 million or $2 million to fly each year. I mean, Joe, that is an egregious statement because, I mean, who knows how far he's flying? That literally is the indicator how much he is traveling, which Pompliano did tag at the bottom of that, depending on travel. It's like, well, yeah, that's
the point of the plane.
That is the entire price tag there. It was a gorgeous plane, though. But Pomp says that he bought it Other people are saying he has a deal with Alaska Airlines. Both could be true. He could have bought it from Alaska Airlines, who have a private G5 around, I guess. Gorgeous.
Is that his logo up there by the window?
Yeah, Team 3 put that together, dude.
It's a sweet logo.
Hey, it's a lightning bolt too. And if you look at it sideways, it's a U too for Mr. Unlimited. You know, if you look like this. So when you're flying next to him, yeah, you can see it. Who's that? Oh, that's Mr. Unlimited.
Oh, holy shit.
Holy shit. Is that? I see a U.
Yeah.
Oh, well, turn your head up. Oh, there's an R and a 3.
Is he flying?
Russ Unlimited.
Fuck. What are you saying, Zito?
Also an M.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you're looking at it backwards. What just flew by us?
Mach 5?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Mr. Money?
Does he fly it like Travolta does?
I don't think so. He looks pretty casual there.
Travolta.
There is a pilot.
Travolta has that big old Qantas jet that he flies around.
Dude, he has a runway at his house.
Yeah, lands in his front yard.
Like, you know how you park your car? Well, you live in an apartment complex.
Yeah, he lives in like a flying community. Sweet.
Oh, it's a whole community like that? I think I learned about this on Dateline. One of them killed the other one. I think I've learned about this.
Well, there's like a runway in the middle and all the houses are on either side. Like you have little taxiways and you park your plane at your house.
Yeah, you park it like a car is parked at a garage. So like, oh, this person has a 3-plane garage. You just kind of drive up and you park it at your house.
That's unreal.
Like a dock for a boat.
Okay.
That is what they do there.
Where's that, Florida or something?
Travolta's in Florida. His one, I don't know if he's still there or not, but I think they're all over.
So it's like a golf course type community, how everybody's houses are around a golf course. There's like, hey, we have an airport community here where there's probably only a certain amount of houses that have a lot of fucking money, obviously.
I guess, yeah.
That's wild.
What do you know, AJ? You know,
I just know what I've seen. There are pictures of Travolta's house pop up on the internet all the time because he has like 2 or 3 planes parked right outside.
Yeah, the Skycam shot where the left wing is sticking out over the garage. They even have like a garage on it.
Damn.
It literally just looks like a car being parked on an outside garage. Get down in the cul-de-sac, turn around, bring your G5 back to the house. I'm fucking out of here.
That's so cool.
Pretty cool.
That's a certain level of wealth that has been around for a long time, I think.
That's Grease.
What's that?
Travolta. Grease.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
The picture of his fucking plane parked right next to his house is
awesome. Yeah, it's just like literally somebody parking their boat on the dock. Just, it's a fucking 737 or whatever. Yeah. What'd you say, a Swanus? What is that?
Qantas? It was an airline.
Yeah, look at that. He just drives those things in there and parks them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How you got to go get groceries?
Hey, how come he doesn't have a grass runway, too, in the back, like Tom Cruise in that American Made? American Made or whatever.
Maybe he does.
Yeah, we don't know. I guess look at that farm behind there. Anyways, let's continue to bounce around the NFL. After spending one season in Cleveland, Jadeveon Clowney will likely be playing elsewhere next season, sources say. The door is not totally closed for a return to Cleveland, but is viewed as unlikely currently. A main reason why? Money, says Brad Stainbrook.
Nailed it.
Is that what this says?
Yeah. At Stainbrook NFL.
Shout out to Stainbrook. This guy knows his shit. Jadeveon Clowney. Teams are going to want Jadeveon Clowney because although pundits and statisticians say he doesn't show up as much in the sack department, he's a game wrecker. He's a game disruptor. Myles Garrett probably loved having him around. They didn't go any further than they did before him being on the team. No. But I feel like he's going to have multiple suitors, don't you, AJ?
Yeah, it depends on exactly what he's looking for. Like, is he looking for some kind of miniature long-term deal, like a 2 or 3 year deal, or is he going to go play for a 1 year on some contender and try to get a ring?
Well, that's kind of what he did last year, right? He just waited, then took a deal. It was pretty good money, guaranteed money. I'm going to do this. Maybe he'll continue to be like a mercenary. Maybe he will just continue
to the Chiefs or something.
Yeah, go to Colts, dude.
I was going to say Colts makes a lot of sense. Dolphins
Colts make a lot of sense. Once they figure out the quarterback.
What do you think? What do you think we're going to do?
I really don't know. Are they going to go all in on Jimmy G?
Listen, maybe his Nona doesn't cook. I just want to let you know, I don't think that's true. He's lying on Subway commercials. But there's gabagool on a new Subway sandwich.
The Panthers are willing to trade McCaffrey, though. And, Watson's off the table. Jimmy G's probably going to be in Carolina.
And you think Christian's going to be alongside whoever else in the backfield in San Francisco?
Yeah, probably ship him out because the cap hit as well.
There's no way Carolina gives up Christian McCaffrey for Jimmy G, right? Because they know they got to trade Jimmy G. If they're going to somebody else, there's no way they're giving up Christian for Jimmy G, right?
I don't know. Chuba might want to get out from his contract.
And Chuba had a pretty good year last year when McCaffrey got hurt.
So you think they're just saying, however we can get rid of Christian, let's get rid of Christian?
Yeah, for a quarterback.
Dude, run MC?
Yeah.
Hey, he is reckless.
Big time.
He is so fast, so explosive, and sprints 22 miles an hour into contact for whatever reason. If he stays healthy, which I guess is the massive question, which is why they're probably even thinking about and contemplating about moving on from him, which is funny because Jimmy G, if he stays healthy, is the entire conversation over there. Some people just get unlucky, but Christian McCaffrey looks like he's setting himself up to get hurt every play with how hard he runs.
He runs almost too hard, where he doesn't protect himself at times, like in different situations when other guys might. He's just, he's too tough for his own good, probably.
But you can't judge him for that at running back position, Like, this is just like the Carson Wentz thing. Carson Wentz is too tough for his own good. At the quarterback position, don't need you to showcase how tough you are every single play. Running back position, if he turns down collisions in film, he probably feels terrible. It's like that's such an interesting thing. Hey, I want you to be a dog, but also...
That's what makes him who he is that he is a dog. And he's like, watching him in college back in the day, you see that like he legit expects to score every time he touches the ball.
He was bred to be a professional athlete too.
Yeah.
Both mom and dad's side have just pedigree in the athletic world that is just might be unmatched in this entire thing, to be honest with you.
And because he is such a dog, he's also catching the ball like 10, 12 times a game. I mean, he's touching it a lot when he's on the field, and he only plays one way, so he's getting blasted most of those times. It's not like he's just getting 15 carries and, he's getting blasted over the middle. I mean, he's
a guy that if he was on your team, you'd view him just like Carson. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Careful.
He's limping. Remember, we had a fucking same game parlay on him.
Yeah.
On Thursday. He got hurt in the first drive.
Yeah. High steam.
No.
Against the Texans, I think.
Yeah, but he had like 3 hits before that, too.
Yeah.
It was like,
Jeez. And on that play, I think it was like a 14, 15-yard gain where he
pulled a hammy.
Yeah.
Too explosive. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Eli in Michigan. What's going on, Eli, on the 5 Energy phone line? What's up, brother?
Not too bad. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Bingo. All right, you said it.
Quick question. I just want to talk about the picks that we got for Russell Wilson. I don't think that we necessarily lost, because what if we take the first-round pick this year, get Kenny Pickett, and then we take our first round next year and Rashawn Penny, and we give it to Carolina for Metcalf.
So you're getting rid of Metcalf, too?
Sorry, for the running back. For
McCaffrey. Got you.
McCaffrey, yeah.
Yeah, I got you there. I just think anytime you lose a Hall of Fame quarterback, you're fucked. Now, will Kenny Pickett be a Hall of Fame quarterback? TBD.
Probably.
TBD. Played at Pitt. Pittsburgh guy, I believe. I mean, he's going to be incredibly tough. Diggs has come full circle on him being a Steeler, it sounds like. This is brand new.
Yeah, right.
Get him in there.
Bring him home.
He's one of the 7 that the Pittsburgh Steelers faithful Tone Diggs will take. But if you don't find a replacement quarterback in any of those picks, which, by the way, you probably won't, right, AJ? It's a loss. It has to be.
I mean, you might, but the chances to find one that step in right away from day one and become that guy, those are pretty low.
Yeah, that's why Bill Belichick continues. Mac Jones is fun.
Hell yeah. And by the time he needs a contract, the salary cap will be $250 million. Won't even matter.
How about Mac Jones just free falling, free falling. Bill's like, oh my God, we weren't planning on taking a fucking quarterback. Well, with this guy. Everybody else in the NFL is a bunch of fucking idiots. Do you think Bill has to think that?
Yeah.
He has to think that sometimes.
Especially looking at the teams that passed on him. Like, granted, it worked out for Denver now that they had Russell, but they passed on him. Carolina, who's looking for a quarterback, they passed on him. And granted, they got good guys, but it's...
And the Niners, who knows what's going to go on Trey Lance?
Who knows what's going to happen with him? Who knows what's going to happen with Zach Wilson?
Fields.
Whoa.
Hey, we don't know about Fields. Fields had...
He's that dude.
All right.
Sure.
Do we know about Tua?
What do you think about Tua?
I think he definitely can be the guy. I mean, I'm not 100% on anybody, really, but I don't like. What do Dolphins fans feel? Are they all in? We're
All
sold.
in.
Tua's our guy.
All in. Always
Okay.
have been. Just needed
Good.
a chance. Needed a coach who believed in him, AJ. That's all we needed.
Well, the coach is being told to lose, so
What we
that's
all
almost more of a compliment to
Yeah.
Tua, actually.
Yeah.
And
Hey, sorry about it. Bonuses are coming.
Well, he
Need
also
you to get
had-
the fuck off the field.
Also had 3 guys relaying him the plays on every play. It probably didn't help either.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel saying 6 OCs in 6 years. That was pretty big eye opener.
Nobody listened to any of the words that are coming out of McDaniel's mouth. He said a lot of things in there about how good Tua is and how much he believes in Tua. And this is the first time anybody from the Dolphins has publicly basically said, we love Tua. We're in the Tua business. The mental toughness on Tua, we've talked about it. He is probably calloused up from his NFL time, his college time. And if McDaniel, who everybody says film nerd, actual nerd, offensive guru, can put a great offense, why not the Dolphins?
Why not?
And he's probably healthy after that surgery. It takes a bit to come back from a surgery like that, too.
Oh.
Start throwing that deep ball again.
Dr. Gumpy.
Let it eat.
Here we go.
Let it eat.
A lot of money.
Hour 3 on the other side. We'll have Pat White in that hour. More AJ Hawk. More conversation around the NFL. AJ, you're breaking news in the third hour as well?
I don't know. I might.
Oh,
What does that mean?
so you're just sitting on it.
Really?
No, but I thought you were trying to take that to the heart out.
Oh, by the way, Jet Passon has won the war. He has his Twitter
did.
back.
Nice. Maybe Jet.
Hour 3 is on the other side. We'll see you in 6.
Offer you something. Okay.
Do I need like a pen or
You
something?
probably could share.
Yeah.
So, and that's where you normally are. You know, it's like, and I know you love what we do, and you're a part of the team, big time. And people in the organization really enjoy it, and fans all over the world really enjoy you being you. You know, and you can't find anyone. I can't imagine back in the day Bob Costas standing up on a desk and dancing. Okay, but you're you. You know, and that's why it works. You know, and. So with that, it's like I'd like to offer you an opportunity to actually wrestle at WrestleMania.
Oh. It'd be a dream, boss.
In the ring. Now, it would be the difference, though, when you played for the Colts. It'd be the difference of like, okay, you're the punter.
Okay.
But now, in the ring, you're going to be a linebacker.
24 tackles in the NFL. No big deal. That would be a fucking dream, obviously. And by the way, there's been a lot of chatter on the internet about me getting back into the ring and wrestling at WrestleMania. And I've had so many torn, conflicted feelings because, you know, I'm out of shape. I ain't out of shape. There's a lot of vitamins that go into these lungs, Vince, and like the things coming up. But WrestleMania is something I've obviously stolen from you. By the way, back in the day, we'd go to whoever had the black box would steal WrestleMania. So I'm sorry about that. I probably owe you like $7, $8.99 or so like that for that whole thing. But obviously, it is the standard at WrestleMania. I would love to. That'd be an absolute honor.
See you in the ring. We'll find some worthy opponent for you. Put you in the ring.
Wow.
Awesome.
Holy shit.
Hey, huh? Did you see the ring when you walked by the way?
I did. I was impressed. You have your own ring.
Yeah, I got.
It looks like a standard WA ring.
Well, listen. I don't know if that's how hard your rings are, but goddamn, that thing hurts. That thing hurts like hell. This is incredible, by the way. Awesome. Is this a real deal? I mean, are we really?
Yep. No, I don't bullshit. I don't do that.
Let's go.
Here we go. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man, I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There was a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What does that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them, so I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to... Oh, mama, I'm here for my life. Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm clock.
We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let... I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man, but on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach. To walk into any Howl at the Moon and go, wish you was dead from that ledge, my friend.
Jumper.
We could
cut ties with all the lies that we've been living in.
And
if you do not want to see me again, I would understand.
That's what I want to do at Howl at the Moon. Just slide on the knees with the guitar.
Howl at the Moon is just pianos usually.
No.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. I'm just checking the internet. A lot is popping off before hour 3 on this Thursday, March 10th, 2022, which begins right now.
Yeah.
Me saying that Kirk Cousins would be a perfect fit for the Colts has garnered a lot of blogs and conversations around the NFL sphere, more specifically in Minnesota. Sounds like Vikings fans are like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That's always a good sign.
Yeah. Absolutely. You guys should do that. $45 million. I don't know if they're reporting in there, though, that I'm saying Vikings pay.
You guys pick up the tab.
We get Kirk Cousins. That is kind of a part of this entire thing. $45 million cap hit next year, Kirk Cousins. Guaranteed. Fully guaranteed.
You telling me someone's taking that on?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they're gonna have to split it. If they get traded, they're gonna have to work out a deal to split it or something.
That's exact.
Extension. You got to sign him long term.
No, because Kirk, businessman. You don't want to
Maybe
step into those
3
waters.
years.
You don't want to step into those waters. We'll have one of his former teammates on here in about 12 minutes or so. Pat White, one of my former teammates as well. Can't wait to chat with him about all things happening in the world. Yeah, a lot of Vikings fans seem to be very happy that I'm even mentioning this. What's that all about?
What's going on?
What's that all about?
I thought they love Kirk.
And then, by the way, I'm getting quoted as calling him a game manager as if I'm taking a shot at him, when my entire concept about being a game manager is like how you're supposed to play quarterback. I wish Carson Wentz was a little bit more of a game manager as opposed to a reckless ball decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, game manager is always going to be a slight for quarterbacks. They're always going to feel like you're taking a shot at them.
Oh, see, the quarterbacks take that as a shot.
Absolutely. They don't. I mean, although being a game manager is great, guys have made a lot of money and won a lot of games technically being a game manager, but I don't think quarterbacks want that label.
I'm not saying this, okay, because I like the guy a lot. I love the guy. Is Aaron not like the greatest game manager in the history of fucking quarterbacking?
How he takes care of the ball, I would
Yeah.
say that's the biggest thing when you're to be a game manager is taking care of the ball. He's the best at that.
Is Tom Brady not also one of the greatest game managers in the history of the game manager should not be a slight.
Let's change the narrative, and you're changing the narrative here. That's good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why quarterbacks get upset about it because it's always been put in just game manager.
Like he can't win you a championship. That's what it sounds like. He can get you to the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game, but he's a game manager. He's not going to get you over the hump.
That's cool. Hey, fucking all right, give me a game manager, dude. So give me somebody.
Then my defense will get me over the hump. Then when we need him in the championship games,
They need to find a game manager down there in Dallas. You know what I mean? Not that Dak isn't a game manager, but whoever is managing the games need to figure that one out.
Yeah.
That's the type of mindset that you
on the field or off the field.
But sometimes people aren't allowed. Like some quarterbacks aren't allowed, right, to make the decisions. Hey, we're calling timeout. We're doing this. We're going for this here. We're going for that. Like I think that is all involved. Throwing it away, deciding to punt. Like that's managing a game. When you take a shot, when you don't take a shot, that's managing a game. Who you're giving the ball to, you're not like checking out of a run. That is managing a game on how you do it. Like I don't understand why that is a slight to anybody. Honestly, I have no idea. That
Shouldn't be. I don't think it should be.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like great arm, great game manager, incredible toughness, big brain. Like those are.
But gunslinger is a positive though.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay.
Which gunslinger kind of means you're a little bit reckless at times.
Yes, 1,000%. But it's excitable to watch. So I guess that's why it's a compliment as opposed to the, hey, I'm not going to turn the ball over. I'm going to make the right decision. Situational football is going to matter in my mind, and I'm going to do stuff like that. That should not be a fucking slight. I don't know why that is continued to be a slight.
Well, yeah, and gunslinger, I feel like that doesn't necessarily it's not in correlation with winning. It's just like that guy's fun to watch. You know, like Favre was a gunslinger and they won a Super Bowl, but don't you think part of it too is like guys like Rodgers and Brady, they've won Super Bowls before and MVPs. So like when you're talking about a game manager, it's a guy who hasn't had
his win yet.
Right.
So you're a game manager until you win, and then it's like, oh, this guy.
Right.
This is how you play.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you just kind of. And I assume that's what Kirk probably talks about privately. Like, hey, if you look at the games we lose, you look at my stats. Like, I don't think it was me necessarily, but our team lost. We haven't got it done. You like that. He gets that little thing. Jimmy G, also a game manager.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, he's a game manager. He will hand the ball off if it looks like we should hand the ball off and we're winning it. He won't let his ego get involved and check out and make the right decision. It just feels like, I don't know why, AJ, I don't know why that has been something this entire time.
I always took it as game manager was built into the good quarterback level. Like Aaron's going to go out and he's going to make throws that is going to win a game for you.
Oh.
Like they're game managers because they don't make huge mistakes and they don't do that, but they will also go out and do things that'll win a ball game for you. But then there is like the Alex Smith level, and it's not a knock. He's going to not do things.
Have a hamstring as a shin and give a piggyback ride to Aaron Donald?
Before that.
He won a whole season without throwing a touchdown pass to a wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Chiefs were very
How many interceptions do you have, though?
Exactly.
He won games. He won games.
Yeah, because he managed those games.
That's right.
He knew what was going on.
Andrew Luck.
He was a gunslinger, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. He
Calculated, though.
Very super
very
smart.
cerebral.
See, I thought some of Stafford's struggles this year were because he wasn't a game manager, because in Detroit, he always had to sling that thing because we were always down. So I thought for a little bit there, that's why he struggled.
Hey, you need to be a little bit more of a game manager.
Yes, and so he would throw a bonehead pick, and people weren't used to that.
And Sean McVay was probably like, what are we doing? You're rolling to your left. You throw it 45 yards into double coverage in the corner of the end zone. What are you even doing? We could just throw that ball away. That happened in late. That was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The particular one I am thinking, rolling to his left, extending the play.
Yeah.
He crow hops into this thing, and they zoom out, and it's like, oh my, that guy is nowhere near open. He's got to be thrown out of bounds. No, he threw it right into the DBs.
Yeah, that's the NFC Championship.
Yeah, and it's exactly like, oh, that's what he wanted to do. Gunslinger. Hey, we need this play right now, as opposed to managing the game.
Exactly.
Kyler, kind of.
What's that?
Kyler will do shit. I mean, when they played the Rams, he threw that pick in the end zone instead of just like, hey, let's throw this shit away and punt it and see if our defense with Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt can do something.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's just ego? You think it's just you've always had to do that? So
No,
that's
I
just
think
your
it's
style?
a guy like Kyler. I mean, you're going to take – it's like some of those old school punt returners. Yeah, they may have a couple punts where they lose some yardage because they're reversing field and they're doing all this, but you got to take the good with the bad because they're going to take a few of them back.
Kyler with Nuke, whenever they were playing.
Yep.
Those and those big ass mitts. He's at the Paris fashion show or whatever. They had a photo of him in just super fashionable outfit.
Oh, of course.
He had these shoes. Everybody. He puts those big mitts, those big Jordan mitts up though, and just on that ball, and it's like that is a part of their offense. That is actually their offense. We talked to Cliff about it. As soon as he leaves, everybody else feels a heightened sense of like, oh, I got to do more, and everybody kind of gets tight. What a weapon he is. And I guess if you have one of those guys that can go get those shit balls, you got to take advantage of it, but there's only a few of them. I mean, there's not a lot of those guys out there.
Yeah, like for the Cardinals, that first game that Hopkins came back after he got injured against the Bears, where it was like 4th and 2, and instead of just taking an easy pass, it was like, oh, I can just throw it up to DeAndre Hopkins and he'll score a touchdown.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins is down there somewhere. There was allegedly a report that the Washington Commanders were looking at Rodgers, Wilson, Watson, Jimmy G, Mitchell Trubisky, and inevitably zeroed in on Carson Wentz. This came from Jeremy Fowler at Fowler ESPN. So all those reports of them looking into every single situation in the NFL, turns out a lot of people are reporting that is accurate. Brand new team name, we need a new quarterback, a new face of a generation, a new franchise, everything like that. They get Carson Wentz. Their Super Bowl odds changed zilch at FanDuel. They signed Carson.
Didn't go down, did it?
Nope, just stayed flatline. Just completely flatline.
That's all right. At least it didn't go. At least it didn't get worse.
Could you imagine if FanDuel
That'd be tough, man.
go from 60 to 1? All right, 200 to 1. Good luck out there. It would be absolutely insane. I'm trying to send Zito Pat's number here so we can call him.
Hey, Diggs. Is Diggs there? Diggs, what is smeared on the top of your hat?
What are you talking about, dude? It's burns. Okay.
There's burns? Can you just tilt your head down? I want to see the top. What the hell is that?
It's burns, dude. I
Is
went
that poop?
to a fire.
It's a brand, dude.
Went into a fire, dude.
Fire.
This is a Town Diggs collection.
Fucking went into a fire, dude.
Look at that 4, the 10, and the 2, all of clubs.
Yeah, it'd have to be a 10.
That's sweet. That's
So there's fire. Why is there
dude.
fire?
Because when you
Poop
live a life like I do, you always walk through fire and brimstone every day to get to work, okay?
All right, fair enough. Thank you for explaining it.
You're welcome.
Turn to the other side. Can we see the other side, please? I mean, this is deserving of a look at that. Gamble.
Did they actually burn it, you think?
Oh, it says
What do you
don't
think,
gamble.
A couple
And then
bullet holes
they,
crossed out.
they put an on don't.
That's badass.
Holy shit.
What are you gambling?
That's badass.
Life or
Guess
just
what?
sports?
Sports, dude.
And
Life.
is.
I'm at life.
No. You're in life.
I'm in life.
You're in life.
I'm in life.
Are you either in life or out life?
I'm in life.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
You
man
too,
in the
AJ.
stadium.
Yeah, are you in?
What are you going to do when the metaverse comes full circle?
I'm burn that bitch down too.
Hey, LeBron James got 6 different trademarks for the metaverse.
Yeah, of course.
LeBron James, King, Barbershop, and everything else.
He took king?
Makes me hate it even
I don't
worse.
know.
So no one else can be king of
He
the
is
metaverse?
the king of metaverse.
Yeah.
Whoever trademarks it first gets the king tag. He's got it.
Tell you what, too, there's been some new VR, clips coming out. That shit is getting very legitimate.
What do you mean?
It is the whole entire design and the realisticness of it. if
But
that's
do
a
you
word.
wear it? Do you wear like an Oculus, or how do you?
Yeah.
How do you get into it?
Yeah, it's the same business. Like PlayStation, Sony is getting into it, and the stuff that they have been releasing it looks very real.
What was that game where we used to have to build houses in your own town?
Oh, The Sims.
So you just go into the metaverse and download The Sims, and then you're just in the town?
And then you are the sim. You don't control anybody but your own sim.
And then you get to either treadmill that goes all the different ways, like Ready Player Zero.
Tycoon would be pretty cool.
What's
The
that, buddy?
roller coaster one?
Well, yeah, I think you can build your own in there, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, it's a lot of work, though. You got to bring that wood.
Yeah, until you get groped.
What?
Until you get groped.
They fixed that, dude. You
Not
can't do
working
that.
on it.
What?
Oh, yeah, we had this conversation about what happened in the metaverse.
Yeah.
You were at SmackDown. It got referenced.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
It's a long story.
Some nerds taking advantage of the situation, I guess, in the metaverse. Some people are having to put the Oculus headset down for a while.
Yeah. Didn't want to take it off.
But you can't be groped when you're not in the same room.
Well, you wear a full body sensor suit.
Yeah.
Do you really?
In the avatar.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
You get very connected to your own avatar. And
You're like Jacob Sully.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
Bingo.
Yeah. People need to stop being creeps in the metaverse, okay?
Yeah, can't have that.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll help it.
I just fucking laid the.
What do you mean? It's a mandate right there.
Don't do
I'm
it.
glad. Zuck should be happy that you did that. You let people know.
I tried to do it on Twitter for a long time. I would report and block people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to get rid of them. Like, hey, these people do not deserve to be on Twitter. We can make this place a lot better. If this human was not on here, Twitter would be better for everybody. Never worked, but I think with the metaverse, me just saying, hey, keep the creeps out there.
Get 'em out.
I think it'll work.
Background checks.
Okay, yeah, background checks everywhere.
Listen, I've been in the Oculus the last few days. My whole body's still sore. It's awesome. It is so impressive what they were able to build and develop and everything like that. It's unbelievable.
It is, and it gets me excited for what that may be in 10 years. Like, how much better is it going to be? Yeah.
They keep saying Thrill of the Fight is going to have an updated version where people are going to be able to fight each other online.
Yeah, they do.
That'll
I
be
keep saying that.
sweet.
You know who? I want to get Brock Lesnar in that Oculus. I don't want to fight him, obviously, but I would like to see him fight all the people that I'm fighting in there.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Just to see what he does.
Any room he's in will be knocked down. Like the house will be knocked down.
We'll put him in a barn.
Yeah, have to do it in a
Have to
barn.
put him in a barn. Big old space there. Joining us now, the most electrifying player to ever grace a college football field. Whenever you talk about the greatest college football players of all time, all the conversations seem to revolve around the same people, and for some reason, this human gets left off of that combo. Multiple-time award winner, won 5 straight bowls, including the Senior Bowl. I was able to ride his coattails to some magical, incredible moments on the field, off the field. One of the greatest leaders I've ever been around, and although his football career did not work out on the field, he is now a coach in college. Former teammate of mine, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. 2K, Pat White.
Damn, I love that intro there, Pat, man.
Hey, it's very real. I got to see it up close and personal. There was never enough respect. In the NIL deals, if you were able to get those back in the day, you built all of fucking Morgantown and never got paid off for it. I wish. You're in the wrong era, brother. I was lucky to be there, though, when you were there.
We'd all be riding around with Mercedes right now. We rolling.
Hey, the potholes would have been tough, and obviously the drunk, stumbling humans would have been tough to avoid. But, Pat, how's life? You're in the coaching game now down at Campbell. You enjoying it? Back in football? Yeah. Were you jaded with football? Are you excited to be back in there? Where's your mindset at?
Oh, yeah, I was definitely jaded for a while, but I am blessed to be back in there. Former teammate of ours, Ryan Stanchek, is the one who got me back into it. I'm forever grateful to him for that, man. And back coaching my QB, so loving every second of it.
How different is the game now? Obviously, the game is much different. I feel like athletic quarterbacks are all over the place. Like when you're coaching them now, are they coming into college different than they were when you were coming out of high school?
The game has evolved downfield, especially for you defensive guys, right? That RPO game is a lot for you all to see, right? It's a lot on your eyes, but quarterback-wise, obviously more athletic. Right? They're starting to look more and more like me, which is I appreciate it. Right? I'm a little bit early, but it's definitely a plus to be able to coach the guys who can move and get around the field a little bit.
Hey, how similar is the offense that you and Steve and Owen and Darius and everybody in that offensive line, including Stanchek, who got you into coaching? Shout out to Ryan Stanchek. How similar is that to what everybody is doing now? Is that like kind of what everybody's doing now? And do you feel like you're way ahead of the game?
It's not kind of what everybody's doing. It's exactly what everybody's doing with addition. Yeah, with addition of downfield throws, right? All we were doing was getting bubbles to Darius Reynard and let him do the rest of the work. And now they're throwing that thing downfield, so safeties have to get involved. Man, it's a little more advanced.
Aren't you the perfect person to be coaching it, though? It feels like this is the right place, right time for you right now.
I think you hit the nail on the head. And I got real life experience doing it from the early stages, inception. So, I mean, now to be here coaching is definitely a plus. So, when I'm speaking from experience. I ain't guessing.
Hey, whenever the guys, do they all know you from 2K, I assume, all the players now? They just remember you from the video game? Or do you have to show them some highlights and be like, hey, every one of you would get fucking cooked by me? How is the respect level amongst the players? I assume immediately they love having you around.
Well, a lot of them don't realize it, right? They just see me as Coach White, and then when they figure out, they're like, hold on, Coach. You the guy I used to play with on the video game? "Oh man, that's crazy!" And I'm like, "Yep, I saw about $500 from it."
Hey, you remember O'Bannon? Hey, thanks, O'Bannon, man. Got a good settlement. We got about $600 each. Hey, we appreciate that. That was awesome. You were the face of that game. Still are, by the way. People are talking about bringing it back, and your name is immediately associated with it. When you look back at your time at West Virginia, I was very lucky to be there front row watching you grow as a player from the opportunity that you were not supposed to have. Somebody gets injured, you come in and absolutely make the most of it. You tag team with Steve Slayton, who was supposed to go to Maryland, and then Fridge pulls his scholarship offer a week beforehand. He ends up at West Virginia. You become this dynamic duo that changed football, ESPN, the Big East, everything. When you look back on it, do you do that often? Have you tried to separate yourself from it? What are your thoughts on Morgantown and your time there at West Virginia?
Every time I try to separate myself, there's another highlight that pops up. But I definitely appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. Pat, do you remember this, though? How you made your name and how you got started. It was another Louisville game.
Go on.
Right? Well, we had a shank punt, unfortunately. And from then on out, Pat Mack did all the special teams.
Yes.
And, the legend grows. Right?
I do remember that.
I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
It was a tough loss.
It was a tough loss. It was in Louisville. It was late game. Punt's supposed to go left, ends up going right. They return it to the house. Next day, I'm called into Rich Rodriguez's office. Hey, you're fucking punting next week. I was like, all right, I got to figure out. First punt, I roll, I kick, I fall. I slip and fall as I'm hitting it. Get a great roll, though. Great roll. And it was like, all right, we're off and running at this point. I was lucky to be a part of that group, though. Everybody worked their ass off, Pat. That Barwis workout, 6:30 a.m., it felt like everybody is in. Everybody was in. Is it like that nowadays still? Is there any difference, you think, between the culture of what it used to be like and what it is now? What we had, I think, was special. I don't know if a lot of people have it.
I'm unsure about Morgantown because I am not there. But I will say this. In Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, here at Campbell University, Mike Mentor, Coach Mentor, is doing a great job of implementing that and establishing that. Right? I'm bought in on what he's teaching right now. I'm very grateful to be here, right? Campbell in the middle of nowhere, FCS school, and like, where is that? Who is that? But Coach Mentor is doing a hell of a job, fellas.
What do you think about this generation of players? Is it tough to coach them? Are they softer? That's what everybody says. Oh, this group's softer. Is that true or is that just an excuse?
It's the age of social media. So everybody expects instant gratification on everything in life, right? And some kids don't understand that you got to work for it. You got to wait. You got to be patient. And right? If you live it right and you do right, it'll come to you. So they just expect it to happen now. In some cases, not all cases. You still got your grinders.
Now, yeah, you guys mentioned Rich Rodriguez and playing for him. What was that like? We know he's a very intense, hard-driving coach. Obviously, puts together a great staff. You guys won a ton of games. Do you look back now that you're coaching, and do you ever use any of the tactics that Rich Rod used on you?
Oh yeah, I'm an asshole.
Are you?
About it.
Are you really?
I mean, some Rich Rod in me. I can't help it. I spent 4 years with the man, so it was helpful for me. Some of it, not all of it. And hopefully it'll be helpful to my players here in the future.
Hey, he was intense, man. That was my first time getting dropped into the football world. But we would win games, and a lot of that is because you and the group that we had in there. But there is no way Rich Rodriguez could coach in 2022 the same way that he coached when we were in college. Now he's getting an opportunity at Jacksonville State, and he's evolving. You said you have a little bit of Rich Rod in you. Is there any other coaches you learn from, any other people you learn from to create your coaching style?
But there are a lot of people who were influential in my journey. Essentially, forgive me, that's my daughter in the background screaming.
Hey, she's more
a lot of
than
people influential. Oh yeah, she's gonna be an animal now. But, one person I reached out recently to, came back in contact with, was David Lee, my former coach for the Miami Dolphins. And he was very influential in helping me. Even though that relationship didn't work out, I get it. It's business. It was bigger than what he and I had going on, but he spent that time with me. Right? And to have that relationship with him now I'm very grateful for it. Also, just watching and learning from my dog, Chad Pennington. one of the best to ever do it. Right? I think he was about 10 shoulder surgeries in, and still dropping back, still putting that thing on the money, on time, and just to be able to coach from those experiences, I'm very grateful for. I also got my dog George Whitfield. He helped me out. He's quirky with it, but he taught me some football.
Let's talk about your NFL experience. You get drafted to the Dolphins. This comes after a combine in which I believe they told you to beefen up because the quarterback, you're going to have to take hits. So they kind of took away everything that made you special. Now, granted, you were still special, but whenever you fell to the Dolphins, I think all of us were confused. I got a chance to watch you work and perform. And then that whole thing unfolds. And then you go to Washington, I believe, and that whole thing unfolds. How do you view the NFL? And how much do you think, like, man, if now was the time, I'd be the fucking guy? It's hard not to think about that, I'd assume.
Yeah, it crosses my mind. It's brought up from time to time, but I look at it as me being in a great position now as a person who experienced it firsthand to be able to coach it. Again, right, I'm 36 now, and I'm sure like both of you, some days you're like, shit, I can maybe still do it, but then you realize, hold on, I'm old. But just to have the opportunity to be able to get out there and coach from experience is a plus, right? Kids look at you like, yeah, right, what you talking about? Like, no, mofo, I did it.
Did you always plan on coaching, or was it something you never thought you'd do?
Try to run from it, right? I had a bad taste from my experience in the league, unfortunately, with the game. And being back in the game is a blessing for me able to work through that and get over it. And a shout out to Ryan Stanchek for staying on me because he wouldn't allow me to say no too many times. I tried. And he's like, no, bro, you supposed to be doing this. And I'm like, yeah, let's roll.
Well, the game day is better with you in it, and I'm excited to see where you grow in the coaching ranks. You're all the way back in, though. The White Brothers Flag Football down there in Alabama, Eastern Shore Flag Football League, one of the NFL's off of the NFL. Mm-hmm. He's got Phillip Rivers coaching in this thing.
Whoa.
Let's go, dude. You're growing the game. You're giving back to the game. The White Brothers are doing everything. Let's go, Pat.
Yeah.
I mean, where else would you want to be on, I'm guessing, Tuesdays and Thursdays during the middle of the week other than in Daphne, Alabama, watching my dog Phillip coach flag, yo. It's crazy.
You're giving back to the game, though. You're back coaching. What do you view? Are you just trying to focus on like today and on Campbell, or do you obviously have grand plans to take over and be a head coach someday? I think you would have to, especially with how competitive of a human you are.
I am working on making good young men better men on a daily basis and making sure that they're on time. I'm always watching feet. So I'm being what my feet are.
Oh, focusing on now, everything else will come. You were drafted at the MLB like what, 4 or 5 times? You still do any athletics? What are you doing? You throwing the ball around? You running it all? What do we got? Are we getting old? We're a dad now, about to have another child, I believe. Pat's.
Yeah, so I've been working on the girls, trying to get balls in their hands. They've been very hesitant. One of them, my oldest, my youngest girl right now, she loves it every day. Ball, dad, let's play. She's on my neck, beat my ass, whatever. The most important, right? I got a little junior on the way.
Hey, congrats.
See White the second, man. It made me feel like a man again. All respect to my daughters, but having that son makes you feel manly.
Well, Pat C. White the second is going to have a lot to live up to, obviously. The boys have some questions. Go ahead, Ty.
Pat, going back to the baseball, was there ever a point where you actually considered that as a future, or was it always football? Or like after you were done in the league, did you ever think like, oh shit, I should have went and played baseball. I might still be playing.
Actually, before I started, got in versus Louisville, so I was ready to give it up. Call my dad, like, listen, these guys, Rich Rod, don't think I can play quarterback. He ain't gonna never put me in. They keep throwing this guy in. He keeps getting hurt. Keep going back in. Whatever. I'm like, bring my glove. He's like, heck no, son. You show up every day and you act like you're the starter, right? At the end of the week, if you still feel the same way, I will bring your glove. right? That game, he got hurt. I went into Louisville, and the rest is history. So, yes, I thought about it. I was ready to get the heck up out of Morgantown. Like, listen, I'm going to swing a stick.
Thank God you didn't. Just from my particular perspective, I'm very thankful you didn't. Didn't you? You were in the minors, didn't you, for a little bit? You went and tested it out and tried it out?
Yeah, I did spend some time with the Royals for a little bit. Actually, a couple of years before they won that World Series, kicking myself in the butt. But it was right after that brief stint with the Dolphins. I felt like I was a little too aged to be out there competing with 17, 18-year-olds at 25 at the time, trying to compete for, rookie ball contract or single A, double A, whatever it may be. I did do it.
Could you see the curveball? You could see the ball? Did you get a check mark in your head? Like, if I wanted to be a pro, I could have been?
You try me, Pat.
No.
Listen, I am athlete. But check this. I was 2 for 6, and I hadn't swung a bat in like 6 years. So, I mean, it's like riding a bike. I don't mean to brag, but you guys, I have to play a little baseball.
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Pat, you mentioned how the offenses now in college football are kind of more curtailed to your style of play. Do you see a difference in defenses now? Like, are they more athletic? Do you think you'd have more success today than you did even back then?
They've adjusted a lot, especially with the defensive ends. They also they're putting more of like a 4-2-5, a 3-3-5. So there's like a extra safety back there who's roaming, and his responsibility is to attack. So I mean, there's some adjustments on both sides being made, which is good for the game, right?
Anytime you would stick that foot in though, and it was, hey, we are going this way now. It was game, set, match. As soon as, and the only thing that would ever get us is if there was any penetration. It felt like any penetration that kind of slowed down the rhythm of you and or your dive to Owen or pitch to Steve. But as soon as from the sideline perspective, because I did punt, I did kick, so literally the end of every single drive, I'm doing something, and I would normally tell like early in the game, does this team have any fucking chance? And then you would get him, he would get to the side, and then it would just be one step, and then as soon as he turned this way, it was like all right, a lot of fucking kicking today. Wait, this team ain't going to be able to catch up. Whenever you got into zones like that, was it just like, could you tell me the high? Because I don't think I've ever asked you, because like while we were living it, we were enjoying it, and then we had to work our asses off and we had to do it again. Was there some games where you just thought to yourself, nobody can touch me on this field? Because that's what it looked like from the outside looking in.
Forgive me for this statement, but every game, whether it happened or not, that was the feeling I had to work myself up to going into it, right? And that started early from the time I was like 4 playing ball, like championship. So I was raised to be a winner. It's amazing. Baseball, football, don't matter. Like, we were stepping on the field, we were going to win a championship of some sort.
God, that's literally how you acted, too. You were so cool. I didn't know you were going to quit if they didn't go in that game. I'm pretty happy you didn't.
Well, no, don't say quit. I was just going to change sports.
Retire from football.
Yeah,
you were going to go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you would have left our team. We would have been fucked. I couldn't even imagine what we would have been now that I'm thinking back. We would a lot more punt. I mean, I would have got a lot of extra effort, I guess, on the entire punting thing. But there was never a moment that looked too big for you ever. You always were just like the coolest dude of all time. And I think that was one thing that radiated to the rest of us, I think. Like Rich is going to be Rich Rod. He is super intense. He is pissed, by the way. He is not happy with whatever's going on. And then you were like the perfect end to the end there, where you were always cool, always working, always ready. You were built to be a quarterback, I think. I'm happy and lucky that I was on a team that you led, brother. I want to let you know that. Go ahead, Tone.
Pat, be honest with me. You're just talking about your confidence. How hard is it as a quarterback in that system to actually read the defender and give the ball? I mean, how many times were you like, nah, I'm not reading, I'm just keeping it on this fucking play?
You're supposed to do your job, right? Obviously, when you have Owen next to you, when you have Steve, you have guys like Noel Levine next to you, right? You want to let those guys eat too, right? If they're doing well, you're doing well. So being a team player is important, right? There were zero times where I just pulled it just because I wanted to. Now I had a bad read, and it may have looked like I did it because I wanted to, but there was never an instance where I was just like, I'm gonna be selfish here.
Pat, you ever play defense? I could see you laying some people out.
AJ, man, I thought I was a gangster at defense back in the day until I got to 9th grade. Like, I thought I was a headhunter. Like, I thought I was the meanest person on the field. That's who I wanted to be. Rod Woodson. That was me as a kid, coming down from safety trying to smack people. And then everybody got big. So I was like,
Hey, UConn got a chance to eat a crackback, one of the best plays in history. Steve, who's faster than your team, was cutting this thing back for 50 yards. And Pat, there was numerous times where you would like wave Steve, like, let's go, I'm actually doing this. And that UConn play where this guy's running like 20 yards and you, with your fucking throwing shoulder. Now, listen, I didn't even think about that at the time. Let's relax a little bit, but also leave your dead body on the field. Dead body on the field. And I talked to like Darius Butler, and I talked to guys from UConn and people around the Big East, and they're like, every week when we had to play Pat White, it was a fucking nightmare. And that has to be like the biggest compliment of all time, I'd assume.
somewhat. Other times they were trying to kill you. So it's like my body thanks them now. Right? Every week somebody trying to break my face, and I'm still like that play was amazing. And what's crazy is, as a park ball player, every game, that's what my team growing up was known for. And we were trying to crack back, knock people. It's obviously illegal now, but I was hoping Steve was just gonna keep running full speed, and that guy, whoever he was, would have been asleep.
Yeah, he was. I think you did. I think he was running full speed. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, you absolutely killed him, and it had another layer, I think, of respect from everybody in Morgantown and across the entire country. Who has been somebody that you've met along your travels and journeys here that said, "Oh my God, I used to play with you in NCAA," or "Oh my God, you're Pat White. I loved watching." We were on Thursdays like every week. It felt like all eyes on West Virginia. Have you met anybody in your journeys that you didn't expect that watched you dominate at West Virginia?
There's been a handful of people. Most recently, with Phillip Rivers joining Eastern Shore Flag, he was talking to my brother. He was like, "Yeah, I remember Pat. I never met him, but I heard about him." And I was like, "Oh, that's about me." No, but that was pretty cool.
Hey, you were literally the person that they put on ESPN. Like you were the reason we were on Thursday nights all the time. Now, granted, I wasn't attending class much, but I assume that our academics weren't that fantastic. Those Thursday night games were fucking awesome. Awesome.
Rich was a genius for that.
Was
Nobody
that him?
was playing nothing. I don't know, but I mean, I'm giving him credit. He was the head coach at that time.
You remember when he would get mic'd up for those things at practice?
And they had to bleep out half of it.
I can't wait to watch you to continue to grow in the coaching ranks. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for allowing me to fly under your wing to incredible celebrations. I mean, a lot of great celebrations. I apologize for not performing as great as you did on numerous occasions. I wish I could have kept up, but I appreciate the hell out of you, brother.
Man, I appreciate you for reaching back down and pulling me back up. Right? That's a blessing to me and all the Mountaineers around the world. And let me say this, the Campbells too now. I mean, the Camels also. There you go.
The Campbell Camels.
Whoa. Talk about it. We in there.
Hey, let's fucking go, dude.
Have you ever seen a camel in action? Them things are mean.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like a pissed off horse. I rode one once. They spit. And it had it was a savage animal, Pat.
Oh, yeah. So run up on us if you want to.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get that camel. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat White. Thank you.
Yeah! Hey.
You're the best, Pat.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
Thank you, man. Good luck out there. He was so good at football.
So good.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I didn't know he was that close to leaving us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
I feel like I was around him a pretty good bit.
What would have been?
Well, there was this one time where there was something happening that none of us liked. There was some decision being made that nobody in the locker room liked. And Pat is like kind of the person that has to handle all that. And then I saw like a photo of him taking BP or something. I'm like, we got to fucking change. We can't look what's potentially happening here. He was just doing it to clear his mind. He said,
Okay.
because we were in the middle of some stuff, but it was just like, can't lose that guy. He was awesome, dude. AJ, no, we never played.
Didn't play, but definitely. What was the fullback's name again?
Owen Schmidt.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the whole team, obviously, because you're right. Like you guys, that team, Slayton, Pat, and all of them, you guys really made Thursday night what it is. I feel like.
Yeah, well, then NFL came to Thursday night, and then ESPN Thursday night kind of dipped off. But Owen's head, hey.
Oh yeah, where did he play in the league?
Seattle. And then Philly.
Yeah, I played against him. Yeah, big rockhead. Yeah,
big rockhead. Hey, the runaway beer truck used to be able to put Dahn beers too. Let's not. And then he would go in the next morning, 6 a.m. and like hang clean 4:05. Yeah, this picture is from his first official start. He got announced to come out of the tunnel, hits himself with the helmet, which was a move he did all the time in college. Busts himself open, has to get stitches, misses the first play. Oh. So it's on his actual start. This dude's a legend, dude. Fucking legend.
What's he up to?
I don't know. I think he's back at West Virginia. He and I were chatting a little bit during the season. I said, I'm going to hit you up in the offseason. He is classic, that guy. He left, I think he was at Whitewater, Wisconsin, University of Whitewater, Wisconsin, or Wisconsin Whitewater. He was a bouncer at West Virginia. He was paying his own way. He wasn't even in school. He was just trying to earn his way through there, worked his ass off. Like, he's awesome, dude. Yeah, he's coaching in high school at West Virginia right now. That team was so cool. I was very lucky to be there. That was my first football experience.
That's crazy. I forget that. That was the first time you really were even around like a locker room or the whole football culture.
In that locker room, I think at this point, there's been 2 attempted murders. There's been like 5-6 drug.
You mean since then?
No, yeah, since.
Or this happened while you were there?
No, since then, in there. Okay. And then you got what Pat was, and then all these legends. It was like a kind of, I don't want to say like a throwaway group, but it was like a throwaway group that nobody else really wanted and kind of got in there. They were awesome. It was a fucking really cool crew. I was lucky to be in there to learn about people, why they feel the way they do, getting a chance to travel back to cookouts and barbecues all over the place. And that team was tight, man. We were really tight.
And filthy.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. And Barwis used to just beat the fuck out of them. I mean, those workouts had to be every violation that the NCAA had. I assume the protocols and the guidelines for workouts that they put in now, they heard about what we were doing in West Virginia. We're like, can't fucking have.
Gotta change that.
Can't have that happening every single day. Can't have it. But man, it made us. I was like 235, hang cleaning 365. First team strength and conditioning All-American, dude. This guy.
Oh, they have those now? Or they did?
They did have them. Yeah, it was up on the wall. I didn't know until I saw it on the wall. That was me?
Okay,
Did I get a plaque for this thing, or what the fuck's going on? Yeah, I'm yoked, dude. It's awesome. And then NCAA, they put me, they made me like an offensive lineman size in that game one time. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, dude. And then
how long has 2K been going?
What?
Since 2014 was the last one.
I know Herbie's been pushing hard to get it back.
Pat White sounds like he would like a little bit of residuals from the last one.
Well, if they can buy the Ultimate Team cards for Pat White, I bet you could make some money off that.
I think he's going to climb the ranks coaching.
Is this his first year with the Campbell Camels?
Yeah, he was with Alcorn State, I believe, last year, which is where Stanchek was. Stanchek was offensive lineman for our team. Cool dude, got into coaching. He was an All-American a couple times as well. And I guess he has just been on Pat a lot because we all saw like Pat was our guy, like he was the guy. And then he went through all of it, and I never want to like step on any toes, but I think we all were like, hey, Pat, let's go. Like, and Stanchek gets him back into coaching, which is awesome. And now I just want to make people remember that motherfucker was a motherfucker.
Yeah.
We're back in 4 minutes answering some phone calls to wrap up this day on Thursday, March 10th, 2022. I appreciate you for watching.
Of celebrity fans that come out, but there are just simply some that are like, oh, we're from here, this is what we do, we root for this team. That's not the case here, and that's why I wanted John here.
Nobody wants to play the Blues in the playoffs. We're a heavy team, we're mean, and we're relentless, and that they don't play hockey like that anymore, especially the the high flying teams. And all of a sudden the playoffs happen, and you guys see it, The heavy teams, all of a sudden, nobody wants to play them. Nobody likes playing the Sharks a couple years ago. Nobody liked playing, the Blackhawks back in the old days. And it's just, it's a different beast, and we're built for it.
You know what? Hammer, I love the way you do this. You talk. He knows his shit, guys. I told you this. Like,
And then like the 80s happened, and Hully happened, and Shanahan happened, and Scott. We had so many great players come through our organization that and lost them in the weirdest, most Byzantine, awful ways of stupid trades and bad arbitration. And and then we lose Shanahan, we get Pronger, and everybody hates Pronger, and then Pronger becomes an all-star, and then we of course we don't win with him, but he wins that Anaheim or wherever he won, and you're just like, we can't. We're snake bit. And then something like 2019 happens, and it's all worth it. So I just been around long enough. Like, that's really it. Through Steiner, I was inducted into the Blues alumni kind of unofficially / officially. They gave me one of these bad boys.
Oh,
so
look at that! Got you one of these.
I feel pretty strong about that.
Hey, can we see that one more time? That thing was beautiful. Look at that thing.
I genuinely enjoy going to hockey games. I never played. I played pickup hockey. I can skate. I can go forwards and backwards. But I never really played. I wasn't raised with a lot of money. Hockey equipment's expensive. We're not in Canada where it's like, everybody's got 10 brothers and hand-me-downs and whatnot. I was an only child. I just love the game, and I love talking about it. I love watching it. I've turned my girlfriend on it, and her sister and their friends. They love it. They've become Blues fans. It's like, of course, the first year that they're Blues fans, they win the fucking Stanley Cup, and you're like, okay, listen, this is not how it goes.
You don't know the pain. You don't know the pain. You don't
please let me disabuse you of that notion. Too sweet.
You kind of played the heel at the All-Star game, and I loved it. I loved it.
The absolute best.
There's quite a bit of backlash from that.
I took a little heat, but I think first of all that it's a ridiculous thing, whatever that thing is. It's like it's a Carrot Top's involved. There you go, done.
Oh no!
I mean, come on. There's literally a ventriloquist dummy next to me. I'm sorry, the credibility is completely shot.
Yeah,
but
John Gumpy's got his request with a sequel to The Town. I have a rather simple, adequate request. I hope, and I'm begging you, I'm asking you, man, please start rocking some underwear more, because you're putting the rest of us out here to shame. These paparazzi pics and everything, and the chatter online. It's a lot, and I'm happy for you, and I'm proud for you.
Hey, look,
you're killing.
We all have our cross to bear, man.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Thursday, March 10th, 2022. Just got done with a conversation with Pat White, AJ Hawk to my left in a Chuck Berry shirt, the Toxic Table at Ty Schmidt at Boston Connor, 10 Diggs wearing a 10 Diggs collection hat, looking fantastic. Wrapping up this beautiful Thursday.
Hell yeah.
Some rumors going around the NFL. Offensive tackle La'el Collins of the Dallas Cowboys is allegedly on the trade block. He's only owed $10 million next year. An incredibly talented guy, potentially on his way out of Dallas. Also, Boston Connor had his eyes on some rumors on the internet just moments ago.
And so the Patriots have done excessive work on Allen Robinson and AJ Green possibly to bring in.
AJ Green, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals and Cincinnati Bengals. Allen Robinson from the Bears. He is up to be a free agent. Maybe he comes to the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh.
I don't know why any rumors aren't linking anybody there. A lot of rumors around Dallas Cowboys right now, though, AJ. I don't know if you saw this.
Don't you think any? Yeah, there is a few. I did see that. I don't know if are confirmed or whatever's going on, but don't you think any O linemen out there, the Bengals should go try to scoop up?
Yeah, that's like Armstead's up. Collins is potentially out there. If you're the Bengals, you see Joey B is a guy. He's a guy that can get you there. He's a guy that'll be able to win for you. That last play where Aaron Donald just tosses him and he's not able to make a play, if he has like a half a second longer, there's a tud happening right there. The Cincinnati Bengals are fucking Super Bowl champions. Yeah. They're going to think about that all offseason. Now, getting back to the mountaintop is very difficult, especially in the AFC North, which is always going to bring, good gabagool.
In the kitchen.
Good gabagool to the table. Yeah, it's always going to happen, but they're a very offensive line needed team right there. It would be trades, it would be signs. If I'm them, I'm trying to do whatever the fuck I can to make sure Joey B is standing up 9 sacks in one game and then 7 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That can't happen.
No.
6 in the
Plus, there's
second
a lot
half.
of O-linemen out there with the cap cows, good O-linemen too that they could pick up.
There's a lot of people getting released right now that I did not expect or knew existed.
Yeah. And the Bengals are in that spot we talk about. They got Burrow on a rookie contract for 3 more
You
years.
could bring in Feliciano. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Feliciano's up. You could bring in
Saffold.
another guard, too. You could just immediately upgrade just like the Chiefs kind of did.
Mean streaking that guy too.
Yeah, Feliciano's not liked by opponents. That's good.
Yeah.
Draft somebody.
Yeah, you can draft a few guys that you can plug in right away. There's O-linemen that can step in right away and play.
Yeah, Icky, Evan Neal, all those guys. I don't know where the Bengals are picking if they even have do they have the assets to move?
I don't think they just have normal.
Because that might be a team that wants to move up not for a pass rusher.
31st, obviously, right?
Yeah, they might not want to move up for a pass rusher or for a quarterback or what. Hey, we need an offensive lineman. Let's go to get up there. And there's a couple big boys up at the top that are very athletic and agile.
They have so much cap space, too. Like, they have to sign one of these O-linemen that have been released.
I mean, and they have to because the CBA. Believe me, the Bengals wouldn't.
Trying not to.
They would try their best not to. No, let's play 10 players. Let's go to Chad in Florida on the 5RNG phone line. Go to 5RNG.com. Use promo code McAfee to get 10% off your orders. I love them. Mm-hmm. Honestly, if I don't have my 5RNG on a daily basis, I can feel it. Like the weekends I don't do it, I can tell my entire body. I love them. And there's no crash or anything.
Nope, never.
It's beautiful. It's just a little shot. And they taste much better than they did the original version. Go ahead and give them a shot. Let's go to Chad in Florida. What's going on, Chad? This dude's a Chad.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. The best show on the sports channels. First, real quick, Ty.
Thank you.
Your performance in the 2020 draft, I still laugh my ass off at it. That is Don Rickles level of comedy, man. So good job on that one. I wanted to ask,
phrase.
I don't want to date you, okay? But I'm just throwing that out there.
You're dating yourself.
But yeah. So anyway, what are the chances Lamar Jackson comes to the Colts?
Hey, Chad.
Because he's.
Let's speak about that. Let's speak that into existence, dude. He's going to be a free agent in like 3 years if the Ravens don't want him to be because they can tag him a couple times after his contract is up. Wouldn't that be amazing, though, Chad?
Well, he went to school in Louisville, and he's a big fan of Louisville, and Indianapolis is only 2 hours away from there. So, but in this position, can he push through the trade?
Yeah, Jack Harlow's there too. Chad, great question. I don't know if Lamar Jackson is that type of businessman, if he's that upset with Baltimore. All conversations revolving around him are just chatter that they haven't broached the subject of a negotiation. I guess him, his team, he represents himself. And on the shop, he said he wants to become a champion. He wants to be a billionaire. So what does that mean? We're not 100% sure, but Lamar would have a lot of suitors if he was to open up into the trade market, especially right now. But nobody's saying that's anywhere near happening. Well,
if he wants to be a billionaire, I mean, to tie this all together from the caller, Louisville, 2 hours from Indy? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
So he'd want to come to Indy because he's close to his college school. Mm-hmm. We all know John Schnatter is huge at Louisville. Right. He is a fellow billionaire. Maybe that could help him get on his way.
Well, Jack Harlow, too. Jack Harlow's on his way out of Louisville.
Yeah, he is. Schnatter's already got there.
Hey, Jack Harlow's got a nail tech that can keep a secret. He's down in the islands with Drake right now.
Yeah. Just hanging out.
Fucking shout out Jack Harlow, dude. What a come up for that guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Falo, too. Mm-hmm. Filthy. Let's go to Jeremy in Indiana. What's going on, Jeremy?
Hey, how you doing?
Keep moving.
Hey, how come nobody's talking about Derek Carr? He is now the 4th best quarterback in the AFC West behind Mahomes, Russ, and Herbert. Bring him over to the AFC South. He'll be the king of the division. I mean, what price are we asking for? And, we can maybe get out of my dreams and get into my car.
Oh, Jeremy, 2 R's on that car you're hopping into. Rich Eisen reported yesterday that the Colts are thinking about going YOLO for Derek Carr with the Raiders, who have a new head coach, and he has 1 year left on his contract. Is that real? We don't know, but Rich Eisen's been around a long time, has a lot of incredible sources. I would be okay with Derek Carr coming to the Indianapolis Colts. That guy survived his groin popping out of his skin on a Thursday, played 10 days later, always wins games. I think he would enjoy the hell out of Indianapolis. It'd be vastly different to Vegas, but that's what Rich is saying. Just said it yesterday, actually, AJ.
That's an intriguing situation that I could see happening. And now we know, because Washington picked up all of Carson's salary, that helps to go try to acquire Derek, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't give us a pick, though. It gives us 2 threes, I guess, a 1. Derek Carr, what would Josh McDaniels want for that?
Yeah, and I don't think Josh McDaniels would give up Derek Carr.
Because there's no other quarterbacks.
Exactly, and he's got the 3 unbelievable quarterbacks in his division.
So the Colts might be going all in, but is it being reciprocated on the other side? That is TBD. The Colts are going to have to do something, though.
Oh, yeah. Got to make a move for the Panthers.
What quarterbacks are on the roster right now for Colts?
Sam Ellinger. Rigoberto Sanchez.
Yep.
He takes snaps.
I've seen Darius Leonard throw a football before.
Oh, yeah.
He can sling it.
Kenny Moore, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty good athlete.
JT could be like a wildcat quarterback.
Just the entire time. That's what they were doing in Miami. That's why Pat White.
Frank Reich could take a few snaps.
Frank, that's a good call.
Frank might have to, by the way. From what it sounds like. Let's
Frank
go.
might have to hit the road.
Stop that.
I'm just saying.
Why are you?
Doesn't work this year. He is 1,000% getting fired.
Yeah, I think Jim Irsay might cut a promo from the 767 tarmac.
Probably bring Gruden in next year.
AJ.
What? I'm his brother.
Jay.
Jay's
back in, right? Down there in Jacksonville.
Jay coaches Cincy for a while. Only about 2 hours and 45 minutes from Indy. Perfect.
Anything to say to the Chris Mad Dog Russo listeners before he starts here in about 6 minutes or so?
Hey, I appreciate Mad Dog telling you not to stand up shine when we were at Radio Row.
Blow
Respect
off.
to Mad Dog.
Blow off shine. Remember, because you made an entire thing out of it.
Oh, he will.
We're back tomorrow, 21 hours. See you then. Cheers. Oh, he would blow him off.
No, I said he will.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know.
Blow off shine.
Is that an impression?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I didn't know Mad Dog was on with us today.
Hey, there's some companies that want to sponsor the After Hours segment. Isn't that funny?
Oh, please. Who is it? The Condom Depot?
What the
What is wrong with you?
It's an MMA thing. Back in the day when MMA guys used to put fake tattoos on their back that said condomdepot.com.
Well, I appreciate the inside joke with the MMA community, but also...
if they'd have paid me, I'd have done it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the NBA they banned tattoo sponsorships. You remember? That was like a real thing that happened. I don't know about the NFL.
Get them on your neck. You could see them on your neck, maybe your forearms.
Maybe your forehead.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, why not? Everywhere. Everywhere's for sale.
Do you have any tats?
My finger.
Oh, yeah, because you couldn't get a thing on it because...
Yeah.
It's all
My
fucked
finger.
up.
Yeah, some surgery.
It's the Illuminati tattoo.
What?
Isn't that what's on his finger?
Is it?
I thought.
Does anyone in the studio have a lower back tattoo?
Yeah, I got one. I got a butterfly.
Do you really? I mean, I don't care if you do. No judgment.
No, nobody has. That was branding, by the way, back in our day. That probably something that not everybody who had lower back tattoos at the time appreciated.
Finger tat's a good idea, AJ. Lasts forever.
Gump has one as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Congrats, Gump.
Oh, baby Gump. Taylor Lewan has the right-hand man.
That's good.
Then he's got down this hand, down this one, right down his hand. That's awesome. He's got him all over.
I didn't know Zach Brown. I knew he had like in his arms. He had him all the way up to his throat.
Oh, everywhere.
Bro, he has become a fucking tank too. Like from his first couple years.
What all happened? What was he talking about? I didn't want to jump into it, but he said he saw like 5 months ago. He started seeing a life coach and things at home. What was he going through? Was it public?
I don't know. Probably just life. He was talking about COVID and everything shutting down and his business probably collapsing and 110 people on his team. Probably the amount of pressure. There's
a lot of debt.
Probably a lot of debt catching up to him. That whole thing probably got him.
His last album, I believe if I'm correct, wasn't as upbeat as all the other ones, so maybe something's...
Yeah, this one's like out in the middle of the music video that debuts tomorrow. It's a heater.
Oh, I believe it.
It's a heater.
Yeah. ZBP.
He doesn't need to put out any new songs. He could just play all the hits on every show he has. He has enough of them.
And he owns all his masters. Jesus. Yeah, he looks awesome.
He sounded like he really wants to. He said he really wants to get ripped.
There's a photo of him.
He's a chef too, right? Yeah, I think he is. Is he? Yeah, I think he's a cook. I think he can if he wanted to. Like, I think he's one of those guys that's super into it all. I'm not 100% sure, I think.
Does he live in Georgia?
I don't know. I don't know him that well.
He's so cool looking.
He is. As soon as he comes, how about when he came on 8K?
Yeah.
Holy shit, look how cool you look.
Yeah. Was he doing a bunch of them?
Yeah.
Since 8 a.m. they told us.
Yeah, we were told that he did wake up for ours, which is awesome. It's good news. Bring a little juice because he's fantastic. But he's been doing, I couldn't even imagine doing that. They've pitched me to do that one time, and I got through the first two, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me. This is going to do worse for whatever we're trying to push than reality. But he's a grinder, man. Hey, it's for the whole team. 110 people. He's the coach. This thing.
Yeah,
it's like Wahlberg did that for the Uncharted movie. We saw him go through.
They make the actors do it as part of their deal. They have to.
How about him saying like owning his whole master? That's business.
Huge. Yeah. So what does that mean exactly? Like in the grand scheme of it all, how does that benefit him?
So whenever it plays, he gets paid as opposed to the labels getting paid off of it. So if it ever, like when Spotify, whenever the whole thing goes, and on iTunes it goes, and on the radio
he's
it goes.
getting all of it, not just a small percentage of what he would get.
As opposed to the pie getting bite. Now there's probably some people that are in that pie as well, but he is getting the labels in the distribution rights for it. I think. I don't know. I think that is how it all goes. I don't know the music business well enough, but I do know like getting your masters is what everybody's trying to do right now.
Should ask him if we could get a couple of those spins to play on this show.
That'd be cool.
I got some. Probably not that one. That one's going to be expensive.
Okay.
I think that's bad.
I forgot to ask about how he felt about Chicken Fry being played right after the Ukraine.
the Applebee's commercial.
Yep.
Fuck.
I'm sure he's gotten that question a few times.
We can find out his answer. We'll see what he gives there, and then if he comes on again, we'll ask him.
Maybe that's why he said, "Hey, turn off the fucking news."
Listen, because my fucking song is on air raid.
I'm gonna be linked to that goddamn commercial forever.
See, I don't think so. In my eyes, I don't think so.
No,
but
I think people already forgot about it.
until we just brought it up. It's like him doing the G-Reg 7th floor crew to Ed Reed.
Yeah, true. Plus,
wait, did you guys bring it up to Olsen?
He called him G-Reg, but remember at the FanDuel Sportsbook party.
Oh, yes, now I remember. Okay.
There you go.
Hey, what happened to you in the middle of that party? You kind of were just out of it there for a minute. You were quiet for like an hour and a half.
FanDuel party? You mean on the desk?
Yeah.
When I was spoken to, I would speak.
No, well, that's not how it was supposed to go.
God damn it.
Not an interview.
I don't know, man. I was too busy trying to keep Ty's hat on his head.
Yeah, that was
majority of the day. Ty got a great video of Zeke sending me like I was your dad trying to help you put that your old hat back on your head and hitting it back.
Anytime the wind picked up, I had to lean back over, and AJ had to fucking smack that thing down out of my head to make sure it wasn't going anywhere.
I didn't see any of that. Man, I wish I would have. That would have been good entertainment for that show.
Bring glue next time.
What's that?
You bring glue, and then you could just glue the headset. And then you just stick the hat on it and glue the hat.
Overall, great concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great concept.
Great concept.
Yeah.
It was long, though.
Yeah.
It was a long week, though.
Good week.
Surprise
Great
ad was
week.
pretty.
It's like the 8th show of the
Love
week.
Super Week.
No, I mean, for us, for you, is what? On Friday, you did 50 shows. So.
Oh, yeah. It was a long day. You come out and do an interview with us? Thursday, Friday, I'm going out there. Hey, come on, doing it? Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Thursday comes out. Coming out today? Coming out tomorrow. Coming out tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
It's only one show you didn't make it to.
Yeah.
Which one?
It was on at like 1:30 a.m. Eastern.
I'm fucking doing this again next year.
Oh, Gabe Morency. We watched, though.
Yeah, we did watch.
Yeah, we did.
It was awesome. We live tweeted.
Gold.
He fucking walked off the set.
Yeah.
He walked off the set because there was a Zamboni cleaning up Radio Row. They were the last show. You were there. You remember this shit. We were dying in the house watching that.
Morency asked the guy, hey, who do you got on Sunday?
Who's Raging Redhead? Who's that?
Cam Stewart. He said, hey, I'm not doing this next year, okay? I'm done with it.
They were the last ones in Radio Row.
Tony, the guy in the middle, who couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Tony. And then a producer walked off. They actually cut the show off.
Quit.
And then 2 minutes later,
Oh, so good.
they were back.
My favorite part was when you would just call out people walking by that weren't even looking, but they were people that you never met or you don't know, but you feel like you do because you follow them on Twitter and you mention like, hey, Ari Miroff, there he is. Like different random people that you don't really know, but you're all of a sudden you're boys with.
Listen, everybody knows how my brain operates. You watch a show every single day. You're a part of it. If I'm a squirrel, I'm very much oh my God, that's that person. Ari Mirov, one of those surprise stories of the NFL.
Is he from My Sports Update?
Yeah, he is My Sports Update.
That's how I know him. Ari Mirov from My Sports Update. That's all I know.
He was on real estate.
Real estate. Yeah.
And he's full-time now accruing information from the NFL. He is attempting to read those memos faster than Pelissero, and he is, I think.
He has ear to the ground at all times.
So he's just got to have nothing else. You know?
Just married to the game.
Those insiders, they got nothing else. It's just like all day, every day, I got to know everything that's happening.
You can never be distracted, I feel like. I'd be scared to take a shower. Like, be away from my phone if I was those guys.
Yeah, me too.
Rap Sheet went to that play.
Yeah, an hour.
Yeah.
He told us that story off air, but yeah. Something like the biggest news of the offseason happened the one night he promised his wife he would go do something.
Mm-hmm.
Right before he gets in there, he puts it on Do Not Disturb or whatever.
Like a Tuesday.
And then he comes out the other side, 200 text messages. The whole world had just exploded, basically. Of course. That's Murphy's Law probably happens in that world. Let's wrap up some more phone calls here. Let's go to Lucas in Iowa, home of John Wayne Gacy. What's going on, Lucas?
No. He just lived there for a while.
Home. His home.
That's where the roots are.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he won Man of the Year, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Well, that KFC.
I think he got voted most beautiful yard, I heard.
What's wrong with you, dude? He probably did fucking mow his grass with the deer. I'm sure he did.
No, he's not talking about. He's talking about what's underneath the grass. What's going on, Lucas?
Beautiful flowers.
Boys, how we doing?
Keep it moving.
Just want to touch on two things real quick. Ty, it is really cool seeing somebody from Eastern Iowa. I'm about 45 minutes from Waterloo.
Big Gacy fan, too?
Yeah, he loves him.
Shout out.
Happily talking.
Shout out.
JWG.
He's got the tattoo.
Second, the Broncos with Judy and Sutton.
What?
And now they got Russell. They're going to the Super Bowl.
What?
Day.
Whoa! That sounds like a Broncos fan. That's how all Broncos fans were, I think, yesterday. They should be excited, AJ.
Sounds like they're putting the cart in front of the horse, aren't they?
Oh, counting the eggs, you're saying.
Whatever those cliches are.
Well, I mean, I thought we could.
No, they should. They should feel great.
So anti-cliche.
What if they fucking win? It'll be Peyton, Tom, Matt, Russ. The rest of the NFL is hoping to God that the Broncos don't win a Super Bowl. Everybody else that is on any team that isn't in a super nice city with good tax breaks or anything like that is just praying to God that this does not work. But all signs point to Russell Wilson joining that squad, a renewed energy with everybody. That whole thing working out, it seems like, is going to take place.
Yeah, that division is going to be electrifying for the entire year. Because even in the beginning of last year, the Chiefs were 2-4, and then they came all the way back, and it's going to be cool to see.
And Justin Herbert's got lots of proof.
He does.
And Brandon Staley, exciting brand of football.
And Russ kind of has a lot to prove because people think he stinks after last year.
Oh,
freaking hurt the whole entire
and he
season.
hears the people say the Seahawks won that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm done. I yawned twice during the show. Can't do it. That's just terrible for the listeners because everybody's yawning right now.
What if he can't come back from the mallet finger?
He already
He's
did.
back, dude.
Good question.
He didn't last year. He was terrible.
Whoa.
Was it him or was it the team?
A little of both, my friend.
That mallet finger did hurt him a little bit more than everybody else.
Came back very fast, though.
He was in this moment, although he's got a Seahawks hoodie on right there, because we were told that Denver was the only place he would waive the no trade clause to. He was envisioning himself being a Bronco right now.
Yeah.
See, that was at Hines. I thought he was doing.
He was actually calling plays from Nathaniel Hackett's playbook.
Talking to Jerry Judy.
And the air he was breathing there, mile high.
That's right.
It was thin. He looked around and saw all the orange crush. Wow. Oh, my God. Just like TD. I'm gonna get
What's he going to say for real? Is he really going to say go 5-280 at the end of his interviews now?
Go Bronx.
I don't know if he's going to say go Bronx.
He's got to have a tag.
I think
He's got to have some tag.
He might just neigh. What if he just neighs?
Oh, like a horse.
Something like that.
That'd be sick.
What's he going to do?
Good horse.
Thank you.
One more. Let's see. So it's going to be like, yeah, I think we got a lot to work on. We can get better, but that's what the week is all about. We got to get better week to week. That's what the entire NFL season is. All right. Thank you, Russell. And then they'll just walk off.
And they'll just walk off. And Michelle Tafoya will be like, holy shit, that guy's a nut job. To whoever she's throwing it back to.
I think she's retiring, but
okay.
I think she's retiring from the game.
Lisa Salters.
But whoever's on the sideline, he's a Bronco.
What did you guys always used to say in the locker room? Go horse. He'll probably steal that. He'll probably just say that.
No, hashtag for the shoe, dude. That's the
Go horse.
Right.
Go Coats.
Go horse.
What if he does like stay high, like Mile High City?
Oh,
That's good. That's good.
He would
Altitude.
not promote that.
Maybe he'll just say altitude.
Yeah, no, he means like high motor, high energy, high positivity, not like high.
Hey, well, we got to get better week to week. Clear eyes, full hearts. We'll come in there. All right, thank you, Russ. Have a good one. All right, love altitude. And he just walks out.
That'd be sweet too. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Mile
High, thin air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he already knew what he was gonna say to like he's been thinking about this for weeks now. Ever since they said like, hey, Denver might be an option, he's been thinking about what he's got to sign off interviews with.
In that first press conference, I can't wait to see him sit down and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Nathaniel Hack told me we're gonna do this. We're gonna try to do this. And, all right, thank you guys so much. No more questions. What if he did? Oh, that would be amazing.
I would love him.
Yeah.
He would go probably right to the top, right below Mac Jones' favorite quarterbacks in the league.
No bull?
No bull.
All right, we're back tomorrow. Hammer Downs in 15 minutes. This show is fucking awful. The fact that you watch, we are very thankful for. Thank you to all our guests today. Pat White, Zach Bryan, Peter Schrager. We're back tomorrow for a Feel Good Friday. I can't wait for it. Then I'm off to Birmingham, Alabama. Wow. For SmackDown.
Forrest Gump, right?
He was there for a little.
Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
Mobile, the home of...
Leprechauns.
Well, everybody see the Leprechaun and say, yeah. But also Mardi Gras.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
right. Forgot about
It was
that.
created in Mobile.
I did not know that.
Well, a little fun fact. Daphne, near Mobile, where Pat White is from, had other teammates from that area. I played in the Senior Bowl down there. I know a little bit about old Mobile, Alabama. Went to their bars one night after the Senior Bowl so long, missed my flight to the ESPN Skills Challenge the next morning. That was a blast.
Whoops.
A lot of my college teammates were there, me and Pat were on the same team and a couple other guys. And, we won, obviously, and it was like a nice little send-off. So, let's go ahead and do it. Mobile's Morgantown tonight. There was no way I was making that 7:30 flight. No way. Tough to get out of Mobile, too, by the way, plane-wise.
I can imagine.
Wasn't able to fly until much later that evening. Got in like 2 a.m., so I missed all of the, hey, this is what's happening during the Skills Challenge. Here's your gift bag. Here's where you need to be. Showed up, literally just kind of walked into the Skills Challenge. Got none of the shit that everybody else got because it was already all kind of grabbed and taken through. Won a fucking round the world Skills Challenge.
Whoa.
How you doing? I'm breathing booze right now. Just bombing balls. I'm sure there was a lot of questions after that about me on whether or not I'm the right guy to take, but got to fill the narrative. And also, you take the tractor another round.
Yeah.
One last time with the boys. You got to do it. You got to celebrate. I feel like that should have maybe lifted me up a little bit more in people's eyes. It did not.
Around the world.
What'd you win?
Around the world is like you have a certain amount of time. You got to kick balls from all these different areas. It was like they have the balls already set.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And you go like from the middle, and then there's like a right hash, and there's like a left hash, and there's like a middle, and there's a right hash, left. Won that one. Should have won the long ball, and it was against Graham Gano. Massive leg. Graham has a massive leg. He was bombing some. I pushed one wide right, which is just so soft. But I think it's potentially because of how hungover I was.
Yeah, probably.
Should have maybe focused on that a little bit more. I wore pink shoes in that thing, pink Tempos.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a little bit too much probably, but hey, bombed the ball. Motherfucker should have seen it.
Is there footage of that?
Somewhere, yeah, probably. And then I played another position in the NFL. So, probably because of that day. All right, my thing died, so did the show. Hammer Dons in 15 minutes. See you, manana. Cheers.